All right, give me a minute. Get my other platform up, and we should be going momentarily. Let me turn down the news, which often breaks while we're doing these things, but a couple of minutes and we'll get the other stream going. We had a stream going earlier today, so some of you folks may have been here and witnessed that, but we're going to continue tonight, this evening. Good evening, Jake and Lady. That's just Lady Sparkle Water. Is that what I'm looking at? Good evening to you. Okay, so we did have a live earlier, and we're going to continue in similar topic, but um, yeah, give me a moment to get my other stream up, and we'll go ahead and get it going. We're going to be talking about should other nations help us fight Iran and whether or not we're losing this war, winning this war rather. So we're going to talk about that. So give me a couple of minutes here, and we'll be going. So we're going to be on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, and YouTube. So we'll be on all four platforms as usual. We've been debating on going back on Clapper. Do any of you folks on YouTube, do any, because I know Clapper I think Clapper leans right, and I want to get more right wing viewers, but does any of you know if, well, better yet, does any of you have the Clapper app? It's an app called Clapper. Very similar to TikTok. It's in vertical format. You can bring live guests up and all that. Do any of you have that app? Let me know in the comments because I have it. We've done a couple lives on it, but I don't know if there's enough people on Clapper to justify going live on it. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out if other folks have it. I don't have the app. Says Trent rather. Trent, yeah. So I don't think it's enough people that have Clapper, which is why I have not went live on it again. I would like to go live on Clapper. I mean, and also there's another app too. What was the other one? There was another app we were going live on, but like I said, if there's no viewers or not enough support, it ain't worth me going through the process of putting in hashtags and doing all the shit it takes to get a show going. So if there's not enough people that have it, I'm not gonna waste time with it. So obviously there's plenty of folks on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Substack is a work in progress. We are live on Substack right now as well, but Substack uses AI to help make shorts and shit like that. So Substack, we're going to continue using Substack because of the way it is set up. So we like Substack. So give me a minute here. I think I started my live on TikTok without putting in any information. So give me one more minute because I really fucked up on TikTok. So and I see in the comments, hey, what does that say? Puffy mom. Oh, I know it's the dog now. Good evening to you. I do know it's the dog now. So yeah, it looks like all of the shit is in here. The goals are set. Yeah, I think we're ready to go live. Okay. So, what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Good evening, Ezra. Welcome to the program. Now, we were doing a live earlier today, and because I done a live in a car, which I haven't done a live in an automobile, it's probably been over a year since we did our last live in the car. But I mean, there were hundreds of folks tuned in. It was going well. The problem is the sun started setting. So I figured I'd come to the makeshift studio where we could actually do a better job illustrating what we need to talk to and actually giving the callers better attention. Not to mention the folks in the comment section. And also, we were only on TikTok and YouTube, whereas here we're now on Instagram and Substack as well. So, it's just a better experience, in my opinion, to do it here. But in the car, sometimes if I'm on the road or something, I feel, and I wanted to talk to the folks simply put about whether we're winning or losing, because there is shit coming out in regards to this war, excursion, conflict, whatever the hell you want to call it. But there are things coming out that that really makes one question, because Trump has been saying that, how well is the conflict going, or how well is the war going on a scale of 1 to 10. He said a 15. Does what you see so far look like a 15? Does it really appear to be going that well, in your humble opinion? A 15? We're damn near on day 15. So does it appear to be 50, going to 15? I don't see that. Not to mention the cost has got to be astronomical by now, which is what Miss Mobetta is saying. She says, we are losing. I've lost 9,000 plus in my retirement. Wow. Well, the stock market is taking a hit, and they just revised the GDP downward. So the numbers under Trump, the jobs numbers got revised downward. I mean, economically, America's not going well. I know Trump at the State of the Union suggested that America's the hottest country on the planet. And, under Biden, we were a dead country. And under Trump, under his administration, we're alive and all of this great stuff. He has 2.5 years left. Who knows? Perhaps he could make some of his statements a reality. But fact is, they are not a reality as we speak. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, and thank you, Cedric Haney. Yeah! Appreciate sending your boy off right, beginning a hat and mustache go, thank you. But under President Trump, look, even the MAGA side of the aisle will admit Trump likes to quote unquote exaggerate. Now, some might suggest that those exaggerations are a lie. We can go back and forth about that, and I'm sure we will. But Trump likes to exaggerate. I've said it on the program many times that if Trump gives you numbers, and those numbers can be adjusted for his benefit, expect that to actually happen. So he's going to always paint the economy as the best and brightest ever, the jobs numbers as the most positive ever. This is just what he does. So in addition to that, if America wins the war, he's going to paint it as a slaughter. That's just what he does. So I'm going to advise you to take that information and understand what he is telling us currently about the ongoing conflict may also be exaggerated. Because keep in mind, he said on a scale of 1 to 10, this is currently a 15. And I'm going to tell you, I don't see anything that would lead justification of that statement. But here's what I want to ask. The live is about, obviously, are we winning or losing? But the way I titled it is, are we winning the war, or is it getting worse? Or is it getting worse? And I want to give you some clips, as we always do on this show, to explain that. Now, if you saw the monologue from the first live earlier today, you may have heard some of this, but many of you obviously are here now and you were not here earlier. So I do want to run a clip by this again. And this is coming from President Trump off of his social media account exactly, I believe, 1 week ago from today. And there's going to be some key things I want you to pay attention to in this. This is 1 week ago from today. And the United Kingdom is mentioned in this particular news story.
President Trump on social media today criticizing the UK's response to getting involved in the Iran war, calling the United Kingdom our once great ally. Trump saying the UK is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. Trump then adding, we don't need them any longer, and we don't need people that join wars after we've already won. Earlier this week, Trump said British...
The point of this is the UK offered to send 2 aircraft carriers, and President Trump took to social media. Let me see if I can find the pause on the actual. Okay, on his Truth Social post, he said, the United Kingdom, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. That's okay. Prime Minister Starmer, we don't need them any longer, but we will remember. We don't need people that join wars after we've already won. President Donald J. Trump. Now, he sent that to the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. So he's basically telling them, we already won this shit. We don't need you. And I guess to some degree, you are too late to the party, to sum it up. But it's certainly critical of Prime Minister Starmer, because he says, That's okay, Prime Minister Stardom. We don't need him any longer, but we will remember. Ooh. So what does he mean by we will remember? Now, that was 7 days ago. That was only 7 days ago. I want you to hear what was sent from President Trump now within the last 24 hours.
On countries to send ships to the Strait of Hormuz. Writing in a post on Truth Social, he said, many countries, especially those who are affected by Iran's attempted closure of the Hormuz Strait, will be sending warships in conjunction with the United States of America to keep the strait open and safe. Hopefully China, France, Japan, South Korea, the UK and others that are affected by this artificial constraint will send ships to the area so that the Hormuz Strait will no longer be a threat from a nation that has been totally decapitated.
Now, what's obviously interesting about this is he went from telling the UK we don't need you to join wars that are already won and to send your ships to now he's asking South Korea, France, the UK to send ships, and China, by the way. And I don't know why he would go to China. China's not an ally, but you notice he's now went from telling the UK we don't need your assistance helping us join wars we've already won. Within 7 days, he's now asking the UK to send ships. This is what's leading me to ask the question. Are we winning, or is this war getting worse? I'm going to give you a couple more clips before we start the actual program, but there's a lot of stuff coming in, and it's coming in fast. Vladimir Zelensky of the Ukraine. Remember him? I want you to, this is Zelensky being interviewed on CNN. Now, I know a lot of my beloved MAGA have no tolerance for CNN, but you're not going to hear any opinions from CNN. You're going to hear Vladimir Zelensky of the Ukraine speak. So it doesn't matter what network it's on because it's not the network. It's coming out of the man's mouth.
Do you have intelligence or any information about this report that the Russians are providing Iran with intelligence, specifically providing Iran with intelligence on where American troops are, where American assets are, so that the Iranians can strike and kill Americans?
First of all, Russia gave drones already, these Shaheeds. They are using Iranian licenses, that they built and produced a lot of drones. They gave them. I have 100% facts that that Iranian regime used against American bases and against our Middle East, and Middle East neighbors of Iran. They used these drones. We saw intelligence shared with us some details, and it was Russian details in these Iranian drones. This is the first. And the second point is my intelligence told me next that they think that they share information, intelligence with Iranian regime. They help them. And also, my intelligence told me that they said if Europe and the United States can help Ukraine with intelligence in this war, it means that Russia can help Iranian regime. This is their point of view on this. So it's a fact, and you see that it's not a big secret.
Now you clearly hear what Vladimir Zelensky is saying. He's basically saying that the Iranians are receiving help from from Iran. The Iranians are receiving help from Russia. Now, I think we've already kind of talked about this before, but this is why we're asking the question. Are we winning, or is this getting worse? After Zelensky released this statement, the Iranians have now said that the Ukrainians are a fair target. So now the Iranians are threatening Ukraine. So understand that. You hear President Trump suggesting that France, the UK, China, and South Korea should send ships to the region. Now the Iranians are saying that the Ukrainians are. Folks, are we winning, or is this spreading? That's what I'm at. Is this getting worse? Is this getting actually worse? And of course, you probably by now have heard of this. Now, Trump said on the scale of 1 to 10, this was a 15. We're kicking ass, folks.
To sending 3 Navy warships and more than 2,000 Marines to the Middle East. What more are you hearing about that?
Diane, yes, we have new reporting that 2,200 Marines based in Japan will be transported across on 3 amphibious ships, which is pretty standard. It's called an amphibious ready group. And they normally patrol inside the Indo-Pacific area, which is Asia. But instead, they have been ordered and redirected towards the Middle East. What is important about this is that these are ground forces. We've talked about ships, we've talked about fighter aircraft, but this is a ground force that also includes aviation. They also have F-35s and V-22 Osprey aboard these ships. But from what we understand, this doesn't mean that the United States is preparing a ground force to go into Iran. This is just a capability, an option that is available to military planners because they always want to have as many forces available as needed.
Now, they're on the USS Tripoli. I think they set up as many as 5,000 Marines heading over there. I don't believe they're all coming back. Hopefully they do. I do want us to win. I am rooting for the United States, even though I think that this whole thing is not only unnecessary, but possibly a violation of international law. But to the victors go the writing of history. So do I think anything will be done, anything of adverse nature will be done to the United States or the Trump administration behind this? No, nothing was done to the Bush administration. And once again, that was an optional, unnecessary war as well. So I don't expect anything to happen, but I do root for our nation and our men and women in uniform to all come back. But fact is, I don't think they all are. I don't think all of those Marines that are going over there are coming back. Just my opinion. Not coming back alive, at least. Anyhow, I do want to talk to you folks. You guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor. We're always MAGA friendly. Always have been, always will be. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. If you favor uncensored dialogue from all sides of the aisle, you're in the right place. I'd ask that you follow the program. If you're watching on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, happen to be watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub and tap that like button. Certainly on YouTube, tap the like button if you will. So in the comments right off the bat, I see one of the viewers, I think it says Slayers of USN got us another endless war. Now, Trump originally talked about it may end in a few days. I think he's up to a few weeks now, but Trump is still indicating this will end rather quickly. Yet the amount of assets being sent to the region does not suggest that. The amount of assets we're sending to that region does not suggest this is going to be over with quickly. Not to mention now you're asking other nations to send their ships as well. Does that sound like something that's going to be over with in a week or two? Maybe he bit off more than he could chew, or perhaps we, because we all are in on this now, we bit off more than we can chew. Understand, folks, and I'll start taking callers. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10,000. You know how we do. But I want you folks to understand, everyone watching this right now, I'm going to assume all of you folks are in the Western world. I got some viewers that are over in Europe, some in Canada, etc. But most of us are all, Americans or Westerners. Understand that all of us, everyone watching, is viewed by the Iranians as equally a worthy target as Trump himself. So understand that. When I say that we are on the hook for this, I mean us all. They would like to make their mark anywhere they can. So we're talking about not just the Iranian regime in that country, but all of their sympathizers worldwide. You are just as good of a target because they can't get access to the administration. You're just as good. You're just as good. If 10 or 15 of us were slaughtered out in public somewhere and it made worldwide news, they would cheer and smile that on too. So understand, it's not just the folks that are perpetrating this. We're all in on this. So looking in the comments, host, did you vote for Trump? Just asking. No, but I didn't think Trump was that bad after his first term. Just when he started talking about giving police immunity from prosecution, that was a deal breaker. So the answer is no. So looking in the comments, I don't have anything to do with that orange fool. I'm black. Does not matter, Cliff. Does not matter. If one of their sympathizers catches you in a mall or at church or your kids at school, it may not matter. I mean, you can put your hands in the air and say, don't shoot me, I'm black. I don't even know if they'd understand that. So let me go back to the Bible. The U.S. military should arrest Donald Trump for starting this unnecessary war. That's certainly not going to happen. Going straight to the box, we'll start it out with white man. I think that says white T man. Okay, let's make it happen. YT man, good evening. Welcome to the program.
You liked that, didn't you?
How many names you got?
Dude, when TikTok started canceling people's accounts, I made like 16.
Oh my God. Okay, straight talk commerce. Let's go with what I know. So let me ask you.
Okay, let me ask you something. See, White T-Man. I always got called White T-Man on your platform, so I figured if you can't beat them, join them, right?
Okay. I don't see any problem with that. So are we winning or losing this?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I think it's a good idea that they're sending ships. I mean, I assume they're sending ships. Isn't that what you said?
Well, he's requesting them. France has already publicly stated they're not sending shit. So one of those, he asked for China, South Korea, the UK, France, and there's one more. Somebody said Australia in the comments, but France has already publicly said we're not sending anything to that.
Oh, okay. Well, I must have misunderstood. If they sent ships, I could kind of understand why. Because whether they want to be a part of the war or not, I mean, it is going to affect them. It's going to affect their countries. If the oil's not getting through, it's not getting through to anybody. And like I told you before, this may be a holy war for Israel, but this is an oil war for the rest of the world. This is about keeping the gas prices down, keeping their asses in their chairs so they don't get voted out.
Yeah, I get that, but understand, if you are France or the UK or some of these other nations, you're looking at this and saying, yes, the cost of oil is going up because of what's going on, but a lot of these countries, straight talk, believe that this was unnecessary. So now we got to risk French lives protecting the strait because Trump decided to attack Iran with Netanyahu, and now we may be in this. So what happens if French citizens get killed? We now got to go at war with Iran to defend our people too?
Well, I mean, yeah, we're at war with them. I'm not understanding what you're asking.
Well, okay, fair enough. Let me clear it up. Let's say
break it down on the dumbass level for me.
Okay, I'll bring it down to the dumbass level. Let's say you are the prime minister of France, and Trump is asking you to send a ship because oil prices in your country is going up, and one of your constituents, a French citizen, asks you, my son is in the military. Why the hell do we have to risk our lives, our French lives, to defend a strait that was flowing just fine before Trump decided to attack them? So now that he's attacking them, we got to send a ship. And if they attack us going through, now we are at war with Iran when we didn't do anything to get involved in this. Do you understand it now?
Again, oil. It's because of oil. Look, yeah, okay. Israel started the war. America got into the war. We were going to
attack them on the same day. Straight talk. What do you mean, Israel?
The French. It's going to affect the French too. It's going to affect the UK too. The more oil that doesn't come out, the higher the prices get. The higher the prices get, the more that the people are going to get pissed off and start holding them responsible. They don't really have a choice but to send ships at this point. They've been backed into a corner.
So in other words, because Trump didn't run this by any of them. So in other words, he just literally backed them into a corner and dragged them into a war, whether they like it or not.
They absolutely right. He backed them into a corner. He's like, look, this is happening. It's going to affect your country one way or another. You might as well either be on our side or be on their side. I mean, that's personally what it looks like to me. I mean, it's going to affect them.
Yeah, but it's
I'm not
financial.
telling you it's right.
Yeah, but it's financial. It's not going to affect them in terms of lives. If the United States, by way of President Trump, is bragging that Iran has been decimated and using terms like obliterated, and on the scale of 1 to 10, it's a 15, then shit, we don't need to send anything. You just go ahead and finish off the job you're bragging about.
If Iran was obliterated, okay, we wouldn't be asking for the help.
Right. So he's lying again. There's another lie. You said you never heard the man lie before, so he's lying again.
Okay, you're thinking of the other guy you talked to earlier.
You're a handsome conservative. Never mind. You're a handsome conservative. Never mind. I'm thinking you're straight talk.
Yeah.
You're straight talk.
No, I'm not straight talk.
All right.
I'm not straight talk. Fuck straight talk. Anyhow, listen. I'm just saying, it's the bottom line is, like you said the other day, if our gas goes up, we're gonna get pissed off. If it goes up $10, $20, if it used to take you 35 to fill your tank, and now it's 65. People are going to get pissed. It's going to put the world into a kind of depression because everything runs on gas.
But you're a conservative. You voted for Trump the first time. Do you support taking out Iran? Do you support what's going on now?
No, I don't support this. I don't support this because it's not being done the right way. It's not being done as a war. If the United States declared war, or if we were attacked by Iran and then the United States declared war, I'd be right behind it. But I told you the other day, the troops that are being shipped over there, that are getting their orders to go over there, this is not a legal war. They shouldn't be putting their lives on the line for something that's not even a war. I mean, that's my opinion.
Right.
I don't stand for it at all, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Right. And now he's possibly trying to drag other countries into it as well. Something that he didn't run this by France. He didn't run this by the UK or any of these countries before they attacked.
He didn't run it by them. But think about it this way. As much as we complain about the prices of fuel that we pay in America, in the UK and in France and countries like that, they pay a lot more. Even in Canada, they pay a lot more.
I lived in Australia. I lived in Australia. I know what you're talking about. But if they join Trump,
for them.
Yeah, but you're talking right now, because of what Trump and Netanyahu did, they're paying more for fuel. But now Trump wants them to send ships. If they follow Trump down this rabbit hole, they're not only going to be paying more for fuel, they're going to start paying lives. They're going to start dying. So I would just assume let Trump and Netanyahu finish this and pay a little bit more for oil.
What choice do they have? I mean, think about it.
I just explained it.
Think about it. Trump's got, 2-3 more years left?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so they want to have an issue with the president of the United States for 3 more years? Or do they want to just say, throw their hands up and say, okay, we'll send a ship?
No, because one ship turns into 2, turns into 5. Look what's happening with us. We sent the whole Navy. Now we got to send the Marines. I mean, 1 turns into 2. This is how forever wars work. You have to keep, it's almost like you go out gambling. You only want to lose $5, and then you want to get your money back, so you put another $5 out. Before you know it, you're trying to win your 50 back. I mean, that's what's happening. Is it's starting to expand. So France has an option of, we'll just have to ride out the storm financially and pay more for fuel, as opposed to sending ships and now potentially getting into a conflict with Iran, potentially Russia. If China, Iran has allies.
I see your point. I do. I understand where you're coming from, but all I'm trying to say is, what is the worst case for them? To send a ship, or to have problems with the United States for the next 3 years and hope a Democrat gets in? I mean, we don't know who's going to get in next time. I mean, could be another Republican, could be another Democrat. If it's another Republican, they're going to hold their asses to the fire. So I'm just saying, 1 ship now, or problems for the next 3 years.
But conservative, we're talking about President Trump. You may send one ship and help them out, and he may say "fuck you" on something else. Trump is a "what have you done for me lately" kind of guy. So you may send a ship and please him now, and he may demand something from you in a few more weeks or months, and you may not agree with that, and you still may have a problem out of him. Look what I mean. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I bring her up all the time. She was with the guy like 98% of the time. One thing. She just wanted those women to get justice. One thing, and look where she's at now. So this is like giving in to a bully. He's only going to come back tomorrow.
Well, okay, all right, but we both talked about this the other day, and we were both talking about this. This is just going to get worse, dude.
Yeah.
They sent the ships, then they sent the troops. I'm having an argument with my brother right now about I think they're going to put boots on the ground. I mean, I really do. He thinks they're just going to take that small little island in the strait. But I think they're going to put boots on the ground. And I think that it eventually, right or wrong, whether they want to or not, Trump is going to bring other countries into this. And whoever goes into it with them stands a better chance than whoever doesn't. I mean, you're talking about Donald Trump, and you just said he's a what have you done for me lately kind of guy. So I mean, you want to be on his bad side, you want to be on his good side. That's really up to them. I'm not rooting for it, but I can see why they would send a ship.
What are we doing for France? I mean, he already tariffed the shit out of all of the countries, threatened to get out of NATO, threatened to take Greece. What incentive does France have to get on Trump's good side?
Honestly, I don't know why he's fucking with France at all. If I were to pick a country or something like that, I would pick the UK or maybe Canada or something. I don't know why he's fucking with France. I say let France alone. They got their own issues. Every time you turn on the news, there's a riot over there. You know, just let them be. They're crazy.
Oh, I mean, I hear that.
That might be why we're getting them. Actually, now that I think about it.
I mean, but to be honest with you, I don't see any of those. South Korea, he asked for them to send ships. I don't see where any of those countries have a reason to want to side with Trump.
South Korea is going to do whatever they are told to do because much like Taiwan, we're keeping their asses from being taken over. I mean, South Korea, I don't know right or wrong, but South Korea is like Taiwan. We're keeping their asses from being taken over from North Korea and from China.
We were keeping Ukraine's asses from being taken over too until Trump became president and just said screw him.
We fucked up with Ukraine. We fucked up with Ukraine.
Who have we not fucked up with? I mean, we pretty much tariffed the world.
With Ukraine, because if we were really going to help them, we would have sent troops in the early stages before, instead of sending millions and millions and millions of dollars of weapons. We wouldn't have dragged it out to where half their country has already been taken. So, I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think Ukraine is pretty much fucked at this point.
I don't know. I got to tell you, I think that if Biden was still in there and Kamala Harris, at least on that one aspect, I'm not saying Biden or Harris would have been guaranteed to be a better leader, but in regards to that one aspect, the Ukrainian-Russian war, Biden would have been far better for the Ukrainian people than Trump. Same thing, I think Kamala Harris, who claims she wouldn't have done nothing different.
Let me ask you this. As far as Ukraine goes, okay, maybe I'm wrong. As far as Ukraine goes, do you think that we hurt them by sending them all of these weapons and no actual assistance, no actual help to fight to keep their country? Remember, we had a treaty with them. We had a treaty that we were going to protect their country if they ever got invaded, if they gave up their nuclear weapon. We signed an agreement with them. We didn't keep that agreement. We just kept sending them weapons and then we kept watching them lose territory by territory of their country.
I don't agree with that. I don't think they're. I
help.
don't. Yeah, I don't think they're under the Biden administration. They were not losing territory after territory. A lot of Russians have died in this. Hundreds of thousands of. They've killed a lot of people in this.
And North Koreans.
Yes, under Biden. Under Trump, they've kind of been just left to their own devices. They are significantly weaker under Trump.
I don't know. I haven't heard much about Ukraine lately. I was just asking your opinion about it. I mean, my opinion is, as far as a war goes, if you're going to do something, you need to do it early on. What I don't understand is why it seems every night Trump is announcing what he's about to do,
he likes to
and
brag.
then he does it the next day. Like, to me, you should keep something under wraps. Don't let it all out, because then they're going to be waiting on you. This is going to get bad, dude. This is going to troops on the ground. It's going to get really bad.
I agree with that.
People are going to a lot of death.
But we got to understand, Trump is a showman. So that's why he likes every night putting on war footage of people dying. That's why you see him mixing cartoons and making comedy of it. He likes the attention. He is a showman. That's why he's telling you everything. Plus, just like when the Iranians threaten us, normally you hear that coming from smaller nations, or you hear it coming from, what we call state sponsors of terror. Trump is doing the same thing back. He's threatening them just like they're threatening us.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. The problem is this. Russia's helping Iran, okay, with information. North Korea's helping Iran. I can't remember how that was, but I think they're going to be sending either troops or some weapons or something. They said they were going to be getting into it. America's going to need some backup. I mean, whether it's right or wrong,
fuck that.
We're locked in.
If I'm France or any of these countries, and you talking about America's going to need some backup, I'm gonna be like, fuck that. You didn't need backup when you decided to attack them without telling us. You didn't need backup then. Now you all of a sudden you're having problems, and you want us to suddenly jump in this shit when you wouldn't even give us the common courtesy to tell us it was going on. I'm not jumping in that.
But maybe I'm wrong, but isn't America like part of the the European Union?
Yeah, but that's that's defense, not offense. If it's like the Three Musketeers. No, it's like the Three Musketeers. If somebody attacks one of us, it's an attack against all. That don't mean you go around taking side jobs. What we're doing is we just decided we want to go and score some points with Netanyahu. So you better go get Netanyahu to send some ships.
Okay, what's going to happen if, say, Iran hits one of our ships, sinks it, and then our allies don't come like is written in the treaty?
It ain't written that way, though. Like I said, it's
all right. I thought it was.
Hear me out. Let's say you and I develop a pact. Somebody fuck with one of us, we gonna make we gonna both go handle that business. If somebody maybe we got 3 or 4 of us together. Anybody mess with one of us, it's an attack against all of us. But if you go break in somebody's crib, you break in somebody's house, and we just happen to be driving down the street and see you getting your ass beat on their porch. When you was trying to break, we're not obligated to go jump in that shit and help you. You doing dumb shit. That's different. You weren't attacked, you were offensive, and now you getting your ass beat. That's different.
Well, I can't justify a lot of this, but what I can do is tell you what I think is going to happen. And I think these other countries are going to start sending some ships, because it looks like to me that, right or wrong, this is being dividing. People are going to have to pick sides. Sooner or later, people are going to have to pick sides. And Russia and North Korea has already picked a side. England and France, I guess, is going to have to pick a side. I mean, it's going to get bad, dude. It's just that's my opinion on it. I can't justify it,
No, it
but
ain't
I can tell
justified.
you what I think is going to happen.
And you believe it's going to get. Listen, we're on the same team on that. I absolutely believe it's getting worse. But like I said, if I'm France, I'm not sending a ship when you're openly admitting that Russia and North Korea may be helping. So all of a sudden, we send a ship in the strait, and we get hit by Russia or we get hit by North Korea. So now we're at war with them because you've done some dumb shit. No, we got to just pay a few extra bucks for fuel until the United States and Israel settle that. But we're not going over there and putting our French soldiers or our UK soldiers at risk. They didn't give us the common courtesy to even let us know this was going to happen. He's on TV bragging about kicking their ass. Now you want us in this? I can't see it.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I am saying people are going to take sides. And the bottom line of this, other than Israel, just take Israel out of it for a second. Other than Israel, this is going to be a fight for oil. That's what, when they're closing that strait, this is a fight to keep. I mean, think about everything that's made out of oil: the chairs, the tables, the recliners, the TVs, the back of the TV sets. Pretty much anything that's hard plastic, it has oil products.
I get it.
This is going to be a fight for oil, and right or wrong, they're going to have to pick sides.
I mean, it may be time for the other NATO member nations to think about separating from the United States. We don't want you dragging us in wars. I got to move it on, but if America's going to be dragging NATO member nations in wars,
let me just say one thing.
Sure.
You said that it might be time for them to separate from the United States. My personal feelings about them is, look how much they haven't helped Ukraine and how much America has helped Ukraine. And like when Joe Biden was in office, like you said, we were sending them weapons and stuff like that. The EU hasn't been helping them.
Yeah, I disagree. I do got to move it on. But where do you think all the refugees are going, conservative? They're not going there. They're not coming here. Poland is taking in 2 million fleeing Ukrainians. They are helping. They're just not giving weapons. They are doing a lot more. They are helping. I think you need to look into that. I got to move on, though. Appreciate you coming through.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Hey, by the way, Trump is not really taking in immigrants from anywhere. But the nation of Poland has taken in when war breaks out, people start fleeing. You have a hell of a lot of refugees trying to get out of the war zone. Poland has taken in 2 million Ukrainian refugees. Imagine the cost. You hear Trump talking about how they poison the blood of the United States and all the negative shit about immigrants taking jobs. Poland absorbed 2 million refugees. That's for a country that size. That's a lot. That is a lot of assistance. That's probably when you look at their GDP and their capabilities. They've done more for Ukrainians than we have. They've done more doing that than what we've done. I would tell you, in my opinion, taking in 2 million people. Anyway, tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 20,000. Very optimistic there. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 20,000. If you will, 20 million would be amazing. I'd probably get contacted by TikTok if that happened. It had to be Will Smith or somebody getting those kind of likes. But tap the screen, get it up to 20,000. Talking about a really good Freudian slip. By the way, help your boy out with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goal. That'll never be 20 million, but it could be 4 or 5 if you guys show some love. Let's get 20 million LOL. Yeah. How many Mexicans do we have? Well, we've taken them in, but we haven't taken them in under Trump. We got plenty of Mexicans that live here, but keep in mind, the country was founded. There was a bunch of Mexicans living here. We actually took the country from Mexico. You expect America to be Mexican free? It was their part. Most of the country was partially theirs anyway. We just happened to take it from them. I've already heard our young men saying the fuckery they do not. Wait a minute. I've already heard our young men saying the fuckery they will do not to help. Okay, I don't know. I think I know what you're saying. I saw a report that suggests there is a military internal revolt. Now, that's against the military law, but apparently there are members of the military claiming that they don't want to fight Israel's war. Has anybody else heard of that? Heard that? That's a story I heard. It's floating around on social media and things like that, that there's some kind of internal revolt, that the members of the military are not wanting to participate because they believe not only is it unnecessary, but it is Israel's war. And as I stated, 5,000 Marines heading over there on the USS Tripoli, they're not all coming back. They're not all coming back. And I want them to. I'm not saying this to be rooting for Iran or folks who you hate America, all this other bullshit that comes out. I'm just being logical. If you start protecting that strait, which means you're going to probably have to put some folks on the ground, because all of the northern half of that strait is all Iranian territory. That's where all of the bombs and missiles and shit are coming out of. You're going to have to put troops on the ground there. And they're sending folks that are known for being troops on the ground. So they're not all coming back. Hopefully the number is as low as possible. But yeah, all of those Marines are not coming back, in my opinion. They don't have a choice. The government owns them. Well, listen, and I agree with you, Luke Skywalker, but keep in mind, according to the Trump administration, we're not at war. Now it is what, treason, punishable by death if you desert during war? Well, their lawyers can say, you said we are not at war. So this person decided not to fight on behalf of the United States. It's a conflict, remember? This is what I would bring up in court. You said it was an excursion. So what is the law for not participating in an excursion? Let's take treason off the table, because it says a war. We got you on video saying it wasn't a war. So you're talking about being in between going to the brig or going to a war zone where you may not come home. Some of them folks may make the choice that I would rather deal with the law. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, just in a different sort of way. I'd rather take my chance with the courts than be put in a war zone for an excursion. It's not a war. It's not treason. It's an excursion. It's a conflict, remember? So looking in the comments right quick, why does anybody give a shit? We have all we need to stop fucking with anybody else and mind our own business. Learn to use metal again instead of plastic, and we might have money and nice things. Well, you got half the country siding with Trump, MAGA, suggesting that this war was necessary. So, or excursion. Let me help out for my brothers that might be accused of committing treason. This excursion, we're going to call it a conflict from now on. They may need that going to court. New Jersey's best, Tamar. Tap the screen, folks. Help your boy with the hat mustache go. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 20,000. A lot of lazy thumbs in here tonight. Tamar, good evening.
What up, Tim?
Not much enough. We're talking about an excursion. So Trump is now asking multiple nations, and thank you for that, Blue One Banks. Trump is now asking multiple nations to send ships to help protect the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran is threatening to bomb anything going through it. Do you believe these nations should participate? Lewis, thank you.
I don't even know. At this point, like, if they do, isn't it like basically looking like a World War III, something that Kamala was supposed to have started?
Yeah. He did say Kamala would have a Kamala, not Kamala, that's a wrestler. Kamala. He did say Kamala would have us in World War III, but this does look like more and more nations, because Iran itself has struck territory in, I think, about 10 nations: Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan. I think they've hit attacking U.S. bases, of course, but they've struck targets in a bunch of nations.
And they're going after like companies like Amazon and all that stuff overseas now too.
Cyber war, yeah, cyber war.
But this guy is so out of control. Like, didn't he remove weapons from Japan and South Korea? And then he was supposed to give, I guess that was worked out with Congress with Taiwan, and he reneged on giving them their weapons too.
Yeah. And real quick in the comments, someone is saying Pam, you got something. You doing something in the background? Pam Gator says Iran opened the strait. That is not true. Iran is not open the strait. That is not even remotely true. So
they're not opening that.
No, why would they? That's where they have most of their leverage.
And I sent you a video. I'm sorry, I'm getting ready to eat tacos, but
yeah, you got a loud background.
Yeah, I'm sitting down right now. Give me 1 second.
And in the comments, go ahead. I'm listening.
I had sent you a video about a colonel, I guess that was under the Bush administration, that was saying that if we put boots on the ground, that would be a very bad mistake. He was on Democracy Now with Amy.
Yeah.
The Amy chick.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, and I mean, he said a lot, but that was the main part that I took out of it.
Yeah. What I think is going to end up being, because for me, when Trump was asked how was this going, the scale of 1 to 10, he said a 15. For me, I think that's going to end up being like Bush's mission accomplished moment. If this is going on, let's say 5-6 months or a year or so from now, that statement of him saying it's a 15 on the scale of 1 to 10 in the first week of the conflict, that's going to be his mission accomplished statement.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is crazy. The entire thing, excursion or war, whatever it is.
Why do you think so much? But I hear your point, and mine is similar. But why do you think MAGA so overwhelmingly favors this? MAGA believes this is necessary and worth it.
Because they're like kids. They do whatever their father said. Remember I said that, they're like toddlers. They repeat everything he says. If you go on different accounts where people on TikTok, it was a guy in the comment, Islam is the scourge of the earth and it needs to be removed. For no reason. They wasn't even talking about it. This is what somebody was just repeatedly saying throughout the comment section.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like okay. It is one of the oldest religions in history. He was like, "Can you point out?" I was like, "It's the same thing with your point about what you saying."
Yeah. So it does turn out, or it does lean towards being a religious war.
Yeah, because people are making it like that because they don't on the low they hate Islam. I'm not. That's why I told you I don't do organized religion.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though.
People like that.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with that. But here's the thing, though. When it comes to being a religious war, because our soldiers, we're not kamikazes. We don't want to die on them. We want to win, but we also don't want to commit suicide in the name of defending the United States. But if you believe that a deity, some type of God or Allah in this case, will provide you with eternal happiness, pleasure, comfort, whatever, it's worth dying for. So our side don't want to die. Their side don't mind.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of, but I don't think Iran's particular Islam. I don't believe they do the what's this thing called when they kill themselves?
Like the caliphate, or what is it? The jihad or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jihad.
Yeah,
I don't think they do that. Is it called jihad?
I don't know.
Whatever it is, the one where they unalive themselves and stuff for the 100 virgins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't believe Iran is that form of Islam, because there's sort of different types of Islam, just
right.
like Christians and Jews.
But maybe not Iran, but what about the Houthis or Hamas? They're all in this too. They're all allies of Iran.
Yeah, but it's just like what we do with Ukraine and stuff. They fund them. They fund them. What they do with their weapons is basically their business.
Yeah. Would you, if you were one of the NATO member nations, like what Trump is now requesting that they send ships, if you were in control of that, would you send ships into the Strait of Hormuz?
No, because they didn't even plan this out. This was poorly planned. They were negotiating with them. They was quote unquote doing diplomacy, and the whole time they were setting them up to attack them.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand why Iran wasn't better prepared for that. Like how would you not protect your leaders, knowing how they get down, and that they had 10% of our Navy over there while they're negotiating with you.
I don't think
it's coming.
Well, it could be a possibility of not only America negotiating in bad faith. When I say negotiating in bad faith, negotiating or indicating you want to negotiate with Iran when really the mission is to answer to Netanyahu and kill as many of them as possible. So, because I do believe that Israel has Mossad all over Iran. So they know where these leaders are. I mean, they're killing people like that. I believe they got Mossad agents operating all over Iran. It might be Iranians getting paid as spies, but I believe the Mossad is all over Iran. There's no way you could be hidden leaders like that.
Tim. They couldn't. They went 2 years without. They had all that type of intel to find stuff like that, but they couldn't find none of their hostages.
No, it's hard to find the hostages when you blowing every damn thing up. I mean, my guess is Israel probably killed some of their own hostages blowing up Gaza like that.
They didn't know, probably they did. Yeah. You don't remember the ones that escaped and they was waving the white flag?
And they shot him. Yeah. I don't think Netanyahu gave a damn about getting those hostages back. I think Netanyahu was using those hostages to give him an excuse to keep bombing Gaza. Because if you run into a bank, or better yet, if somebody take you hostage in a bank, the cops don't blow up the fucking bank. I mean, why would you destroy Gaza when they got hostages there that you claim you want back? You don't even know where they are. You're just blowing up the whole land. So they didn't want them hostages back.
If they wanted to really find those hostages, they could have found them.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Well,
if you have enough technology, when they did the first bombing in August, they found all these high key top people, and they killed them. So you mean to tell me you get all throughout that whole entire country? Iran is way bigger than Gaza.
Yeah, no shit.
And they found all of them throughout that country and killed them.
Yeah, and that's why I say I don't think the goal was ever to get the hostages back. I think the goal was to use the hostages as an excuse to keep bombing. I mean, this small strip of land, you don't keep dropping big ass bombs on every damn thing, even the residential areas, if you really want to get the people back. I mean, what you're doing, and not only, but they were starving them, cutting off food and cutting off. You do realize the hostages are going hungry too, right? I mean, so yeah, everything they were doing.
They're starving Gaza right now. They're not allowing no food or medicine in right now. And everybody's distracted with this thing while they're doing it. And of course, what they're doing in the West Bank.
Netanyahu is making Israel great again. I mean, that's going to be a big-ass country by the time they're done. Next, they're going to be finding an excuse to go to war with Egypt again. I mean, they just expanding in all directions. I mean, Jordan might even need to be like, damn, what y'all trying to do?
They said Turkey's next. They said Turkey's next after Iran.
Well, Trump wants Cuba.
No, I'm saying Israel. They're saying Israel's next beef will be with Turkey after they move around. This is the thing, Tim. They want these guys off the board so that Israel has nobody to come up against them. I was forgetting to look at the word. Forget the word I was going to use.
Here's something I never thought I'd ever ask, but based on us taking, changing regime in Venezuela, now we're seeking to do it in Iran. We're threatening Cuba. We threaten Greenland. And we got Netanyahu kind of doing the same in his region. Are we the good guys? Are we still the good guys?
I mean, it doesn't look that way, but I mean, I'm not going to root against my country, but that doesn't mean that I have to like what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, because this is starting to look like some Axis power shit.
Yeah, the evil Axis.
Yeah, we starting to look like the Axis power. I don't know.
But straight talk was occult talk, as I call it. He said something. He said, one, you shouldn't let that man call you weak. With his little
I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
I'd rather hear Mark Levin sing the 12 Days of Christmas than hear his squeaky ass voice.
Oh my God.
But what he was saying about, he said, why did they send those kids to school?
Oh my God. Yeah, I heard him saying that. He blaming the little girls from getting blown up in school.
But But here's the thing: that school was one of the first sites attacked. Iran didn't start fighting back to like an hour, almost 2 hours later. So they wasn't even firing anything. So how could they even have fired a tomahawk if they wasn't firing back at that time?
Yeah, once President Trump started blaming Iran for blowing up their own school and claiming they had a tomahawk, I don't want to hear that the girls shouldn't have been in school that day. I mean, your president is making up lies and everything. So at that point, the credibility is where it should be, and it's on the United States. I got to move it on. I think I'll let you go ahead, Nate. I'll give you the last word. I know you're about to eat, though. Go ahead.
No, I'm eating already.
I'll go ahead and move on. Enjoy your dinner.
Did you hear the thing about Carolyn Levitt when they was asking her about the drone attack coming from California? And she said, and basically she said, "Oh, that's not true." She said Iran that it wasn't true. And then she said they're not a threat now, and it wasn't a threat before this conflict.
I don't
she
think
literally said it like Thursday.
Yeah, I don't think even more at this point. I don't think Iran is a threat to the West Coast of America right now. I mean, we all could be wrong, but I don't think they're a threat to the West Coast.
It wasn't a threat. Basically, she said there wasn't a threat to the West Coast, and there wasn't a threat to us at all. She literally said it.
Right. And if that's the case, then why the hell did we attack them?
Ding, 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 ding.
All right. Appreciate you coming in, man. Thanks for coming through.
No doubt.
Enjoy your dinner. All right, moving on with the program. Yeah, look, and I've said that the whole time, is that for the average American, Iran was no threat. Now, Trump has given a number of reasons for why we went in there. In addition to claiming they can't develop a nuclear weapon, he also said they were killing protesters. Well, we're doing most of the killing in that country now. But he claimed they were killing their own people or killing protesters. And then, of course, he claims that they were about to attack America and we decided to attack them first, which I don't think anyone on the world stage believes that. I don't think any of our allies believes that America was about to be attacked by Iran. Simply put, Iran doesn't have the capabilities to attack America unless you go hang out on their porch. I mean, if you're not on their doorstep, they don't have the capabilities to attack America. He stated, I think it was last week, that if we had not attacked Iran, they would have developed a nuclear weapon by now and used it. Based on what? So the information coming from President Trump himself, look, in my opinion, regardless of how you feel about President Trump, and I ran this by one of my MAGA friends and he even agreed, and we don't agree on any damn thing because he loves Trump and I often criticize him. But I ran this by him and I stated that probably in the best interest of the Trump administration is they need to hire a spokesperson and let that person release the statements about what's going on. They need to get President Trump, and I don't know how you do this because he's a leader, but they need to get him to let somebody else do the talking. You're fucking things up by saying stuff that everybody knows is not true and having to backtrack. Let somebody else that thinks before they speak release the statements. Carolyn Leavitt at this point is doing a better job than him. Go find one of them. Go rehire Sarah Huckabee Sanders or somebody. You need to find somebody that knows how to talk to folks and is not spoken in a manner where 2 days later they got to explain why the hell what they're saying now goes against what they said 2 days ago. He absolutely needs a spokesperson. Badly. Go find that dude who posted the Obamas as monkeys. Go get that staffer. Let him talk. But whatever you're doing, you need to find somebody to speak for you. He's making a terrible job at that. But looking in the comments, Dencal says, didn't an Iranian just unalive here in the U.S.? Yeah. He had flammable liquids in his car and shit like that. Was that the guy there was two different stories. I know one was at a synagogue where a guy drove into, tried to run over. He didn't cause any casualties. He himself was the only casualty. But there was another one, and there was two on the same day. I can't remember what the other one was. But both of them, minimal casualties. But nobody expects this to be it. There probably will be more of these. I don't know, do we do what we did in World War II where you start grabbing up Iranians like they grabbed up the Chinese and Japanese or whatever and put them in internment camps? After after 9/11, we did grab Muslims in this country. They didn't talk about it that much, but Muslims in this country were getting harassed and grabbed up after September 11th. So if you start having a few Iranians in this country start committing acts of terror, that will happen again. I mean, shit, we're grabbing immigrants and grandmas and shit like that. You don't think we'd grab a few Muslims if we thought we were? Because now we would actually feel like we really are in danger. They know grandma ain't about to do shit, and they roughing grandmas up. If all of a sudden you start having sympathetic acts in sympathy of Iran, yeah, they're going the Muslim community and Americans don't know one Muslim from the next. So they don't know if you're a Muslim of Jordanian descent or Kuwaiti. They're gonna grab all of you. If you favor Allah, they may go to the Nation of Islam and grab a bunch of black people. You just don't know. But certainly Muslims will have a hell of a problem in this country from racism and hate if you had just a few of them do something stupid. You don't look at the transgender community. How many of them have actually abused kids? And look at how people are treating them. You don't need but just a handful of them, one or two of them to do something wrong, and they'll all get it. They will all get it. Looking in the comments, America always wins. You don't believe that, do you? You think we won in Vietnam? You think that was a win? I don't see Vietnam as what did we win? Same thing in Iraq. What did we win? It's like you go out and you run around the track, and what did you win? You didn't get it. We didn't get shit out of Iraq. How do we always win? When we survived, I don't know if we won anything. The government isn't the people. Wait a minute. The government isn't the people are looking for our footing. I don't understand what you're saying. Anyone that doesn't support the commander in chief is a traitor to our country. Really? You think that Trump was supporting President Biden? You think that Trump was supporting President Obama, suggesting he was born in Kenya? Now all of a sudden he's the president and everybody should support him. He wasn't even doing that shit for the last two predecessors. That's kind of comedy, a little bit comedic for you to say that anyone that doesn't support Trump is a traitor to our country. All the shit you've been saying about the other guys? Okay. The Walrus Poacher says Trump is the GOAT. Based on what? 2.5 years later, when Trump has served his whole term, come talk to me. Perhaps there will be some significant accomplishments from President Trump to justify calling him the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But right now, in March of 2026, greatest of all time at what? At what? You got to be kidding me. I see in the comments someone says, fuck Trump. That came from I don't know, a bunch of consonants. Nothing. That's what we got. Yeah, greatest of all time. Based on what? Anyway, tap the screen. Get me on up to 30,000. We'll take the next caller. And if you're watching on YouTube, I need you to smash that like button. The program always will be MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body here. We can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having a dinner with Q. So it's all about free speech here. But I do need you to tap the screen, get the likes on up to 30,000. If you're watching on TikTok, smash that like button. If you're watching on YouTube. And if you happen to be watching us on Substack, Instagram, or TikTok, give us a follow. Watching us on YouTube, give us a sub. So continuing on, go President Trump. Well, let's see, 2.5 years. These people that love Trump so much, if Trump sends troops to Iran, they should be the first ones to go, says Bernard. Yeah, well, that ain't going to happen, but I understand where you're coming from. Are we at 30,000? Get us up there. What the hell's going on with Substack? Substack is goofing up for some reason. There we go. All right. Might never made right. And I do believe that Trump operates under that motto that might makes right. I'm bigger and better, so we can do whatever the hell we want. It worked in Venezuela. And what I believe is it gave Trump too much of a high. You go to, let's say you go out for the first time to play bingo or to go to a casino or something. You win a lot of money. that can lead to you going back a lot because you're chasing that high. I think we got a high from President Trump got a high from taking out Venezuela so easy, and probably thought Iran would go down the same way. That ain't happening. That apparently ain't happening. In the comments, Mark 58111 says Trump will go down as the worst president in our country's history. If this isn't a wake-up call to vote in the next election, there won't ever be one. Wow. Worst ever? By way of yes or no in the comments, how many of you folks think that Trump will go down in history as the worst president? That's a strong statement. Worst ever. Yes or no in the comments. We've had Nixon. It's hard to say this. I'm trying to think. Yes or no. Worst ever. Wow, TikTok is just a whole yes factory. Not one no on TikTok. Like, holy shit. Old Dakota Joe says, props to you for being open-minded. I am more center, but I lean right on most policies and voted for Trump. And you're the type of Democrat that reminds me why I used to be leaning left. Thank you, Old Dakota. Well, listen, I don't see negativity on both sides. Look, everybody's not great. Everybody's not the worst thing we've ever had. There's good. Listen, I do believe Trump's actions on illegal immigration in the border is better than the Democrats. However, starting wars is certainly going to take a couple points off of his score. Starting unnecessary wars is going to take a couple points off of his score. And right now, based on what I've seen, this shit is optional. This is an optional conflict. This was not necessary. That's my take on it. So most of you folks tend to think Trump is going to go down as the worst president in history. Damn, I wasn't expecting that. That's a lot of you folks that are saying that. Oh my God. He will rank with presidents post-Civil War. I don't know what that means exactly. He will rank with presidents. I don't understand what you mean there. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache go. Are we at 30,000? I'm a 54-year-old black man. I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Some things have changed, but too many things have stayed the same. America was meant to be a white country. This is what they do. Damn, really? You know, this kind of anytime you see a bunch of African Americans breaking into a store, committing a mob robbery, or fighting in public, Carnival Cruise Line, Blue One Banks, yeah! A few of you guys are still showing some love. Thank you, Blue One Banks, for the hat and mustache. Anytime you see African Americans acting up in public, you often hear folks say it's in their culture. That's how they are. What you're saying is starting wars, colonizing, you say that's what's in white culture? Wow. Mark 58111, we should be able to criticize our president no matter which side you're on. People say that otherwise don't believe in democracy. 100% agree. I refer to that comment as a home run. I think it is ridiculous to ever suggest criticizing your country or your nation's leader is somehow unpatriotic. I've never, what part of free speech is, if you say something we don't like, you should leave your homeland. If you don't like it, leave. That ain't how free speech works. Let me go back to the box. I've never agreed with that, but there are a lot of people that talk that way. Who knows? But I believe in free speech, certainly. Even on my own program, I don't mind folks criticizing. That's part of free speech. I tried to bring up Clint. That didn't work. So we'll go to the box and go with King Finn. Good evening, King. Thank you. Rod S. Thank you, Rod.
I won't play the whole thing for you, but you know what time it is, bruh. You know what time it is.
Yes, I know what time it is. It's wartime. Or it's an excursion. It's an excursion. Big dog, thank you.
Wait. Is it wartime? Because your boy said it ain't a war. He said it's a conflict, right?
He said it's a conflict. It's an excursion. Wasn't that a SUV by Ford, an excursion? Didn't they
exactly. Yeah, to sit 9 people. It was an excursion, but we need 5,000 more Marines over there. We done dropped off 3 FB or F-15s, not F-15s, B-15s. Fighter jets blown out the sky. First couple of days, right? We had a shipping container a U.S. Navy destroyer and a refueling ship blown up.
Yeah, we've lost.
That got blown up.
Just when you think about the fact that we lost 3 F-15s and two KC-135, just the equipment of just those 5 aircraft alone, that's got to be a ton of money. Just that alone,
$25 billion, right?
A lot.
Doing this for what again? What is this excursion for? Wait. I just want to know. So what do you think they said when he started calling the allies and begging them to help him get the Strait of Hormuz back open? Because there's no other way he's getting it back open unless he shut this bullshit down. What do you think they said to him when he did that? Do you think they looked at the phone and started laughing? Or do you think they looked at the phone and said, fuck no? Or do you even think they took his call?
That's that kind of reminds me. That's like when your girl says "fuck you," I don't need you no more and shit like that. I never needed you, and then you look at the phone and call ID and it's her name, and you just kind of laugh.
Yeah. Do you think they picked up? Because I don't think they picked up the phone. Like I said, you done called all the allies that you basically, you disrupted our whole thing with everybody and said, we don't need y'all. Y'all need us to Canada. We don't need y'all. Y'all not paying enough money. We're going to take over Greenland and Denmark. We don't need y'all. Y'all ain't nothing. We all of that.
I hate that. King, I really hate that look, I understand you don't want to appear.
We didn't do shit.
No. I know. Here's what I'm talking about, what I hate. I understand Trump viewed Biden or even Obama as soft or whatever, and he wants to be an alpha male or whatever, but to tell all of our allies they ain't shit, they don't mean nothing, we don't need NATO needs us, we don't need Canada, and now all of a sudden we do need them. I really hate that he took this approach of telling everybody to fuck off.
You've alienated every fucking body. Every single ally we've had, you've alienated them to the point where they don't even want to talk to you. And now you done lied and said that the Strait of Hormuz is open, and you lied because it's closed. It's closed to you and you only. Because the Turkish people getting their ships through. China, they getting their ships through. Everybody getting their ships through except for your goofy ass, because you started this bullshit with these motherfuckers because BD told you to.
What about this here? Let me give you, this is a conspiracy, so I'm just speculating here, but remember during COVID, Trump didn't want to shut down the economy because he needed the economy to run on. So he needed that for his second, campaigning for his second term. So he wanted to keep the economy open, even though, folks suggest he wanted to keep the country open during the pandemic, even though folks may have been dying from what I'm thinking here is it just like it was unpopular to have a bad economy, so he wanted to keep the country open. It's going to be unpopular to have deaths coming back from Iran. So maybe he's asking these other nations to send their ships through, because it'll be less deaths for the United States. So maybe you get them to do it.
But why? But again, you know what? I get that. I understand that point. That's a great point. But here's the point to subvert that whole point you just made. Why do they give a fuck? Did we not just go through the fact that Trump said, fuck y'all, I don't need y'all, we don't need y'all, y'all not shit, y'all not paying enough money into them, y'all some hoes, we don't need y'all. So why do they care? They don't give a flying fuck. Why do they care?
And I think
what I want to know is why we not sending Barron, Eric, Donald Jr. and Ivanka ass and Kai ass over there too. Because if my sisters, brothers, cousins, nephews, uncles, and nieces can take their ass over there and have to go over there for in that 5K that's going over there to quote unquote be a part of this damn quote unquote conflict, then his motherfucking kids can too.
Well, Barry can't go. He too busy counting money. He got a drone company. He counting money.
Fuck all that. Barron can take his Boss Sneevely looking ass over there. Ivanka can take her fake Barbie doll ass over there, along with Kai with her fucking $1 million What's she doing? She took the Secret Service to a fucking grocery store so she can go get her some fucking fruit. Bitch, take your ass over there. His fucking stinking ass granddaughter, and ain't none of them kids, ain't none of them motherfuckers been to war. Send all of their asses over there. Send all you sniveling little fake ass kids over there. You, your pappy, your grandpappy, all of them. Fuck them all. Send all of their asses over there. Make them the damn front.
I need you to explain, just like I was asking the last guest. Why do you think MAGA is so favorable to this? MAGA really, they don't like it, but MAGA really likes this. MAGA really likes this conflict.
Yeah, they do, because war makes money. You know why?
It ain't gonna go to MAGA's pocket.
No, it's not, but they're so stupid that they believe it is. It's just like the trickle down theory. Remember when Reagan said, yeah, trickle downomics is gonna happen. You know, the big companies are gonna, they're gonna make jobs, and then the little guys, they're gonna get money off of those jobs, and they're gonna create jobs. It's all gonna be a great system. Well, it's not working, and it never did. The only thing that war continues to make is money for more war. We got, just like Tupac said, we got money for war, but we ain't got money to feed the people.
Got money for war, but can't feed the poor. Yeah,
exactly. We can't keep our veterans from back in the day off the floor.
Yeah, but what if
95% of them?
But is there any chance that Trump was correct when he said that we can't let them develop a nuclear weapon? And according to Trump, had he not attacked, they were going to develop a nuclear weapon by now, and they would have used it already.
But Tim, you know that's bullshit too. You know that's bullshit.
It doesn't sound likely.
But Tim, is bullshit because the deal Obama had in 2008, Obama struck a deal with them. They only had a certain amount of very low enriched uranium, and they kept. There are graphs out there. Matter of fact, I might saw that motherfucker open because I had a graph open earlier. Yeah, when your homeboy fake talk motherfucking commerce was up here running off at the mouth, talking about what the fuck he do and what the fuck they do. And he just he just like MAGA reacts. He just lie about a whole bunch of shit and swear to God he know when neither one of them know a fucking thing. So, like I said, in 2008, they struck the deal and had U.S. sanctions, U.S. and EU oil sanctions, right?
But wait a minute. But Trump says that Obama's deal was, as he says, a stupid deal because Iran was not following it.
Well, it looks like they were following it to me because from the graph that's coming from a couple of different news sources, in 2014, they had a certain amount, rarely up about 9 to 10, a small stockpile of it. But when the JCPOA came out, all of that dropped down all the way up until 2018, when they weren't making enriched uranium at all. All the way up to 2018. Then all of a sudden, stupid ass goes over there in 2018, withdraws from the JCPOA or JCPOA. The talks revived the JCO, they're now in 2021 trying to revive it, but they had fucking low ass numbers of enriched uraniums all the way from 2015 to 2018, where he fucked that shit.
I have got to I gotta get a MAGA caller on because obviously you disagree with what happened. I don't favor it either, but I do want to hear from someone that does, because I want to get the logic of, look, Trump said they were developing a nuclear weapon. Trump said they were about to attack us, so he had to attack them first. And of course, the protesters, he said they were killing their own people.
Guess who else said that?
Bush.
BB and Bush.
Well,
remember?
Yeah.
What was happening? What was happening when that shit happened? We got into a 20-year war for what? What did we go over there for?
But do you see a possibility of this conflict lasting that type of? You don't think it's going to last that long, do you?
I don't know, but the point of it is we didn't have to do it. If he would have shut his fucking mouth and left shit alone back in 18, we wouldn't have no problem anyway. Now he done ran his motherfucking mouth, and BB done got his stupid ass again by the nuts. Because BB got them Epstein files again. Now BB told him, hey, you gonna jump, you gonna go with us, or I'm gonna release them files, and I'm going in anyway. So I'm gonna do what I want to do, then you gonna back me, bitch.
I wonder if any other you're saying Bibi Netanyahu. I wonder realistically, does any nation out there have access to the Epstein files? I really wonder if anybody actually
Russia
has
do.
those.
I swear to God, just like the file, just like the email said, Russia got a picture of him blowing Bubba. Putin got the picture of him blowing Bubba. Because think about how it was worded. The email said, "Hey, ask Putin, does he still have that picture of Trump blowing Bubba?"
Yeah, but in an era of AI, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, certainly when it comes to MAGA, if a picture was released of Trump sucking Bill Clinton's dick, MAGA ain't going to believe it, no matter what it is. Even and they're going to say it's AI right off the bat. They're not going to believe it. Hell, I might not even believe that. You don't think the man sucked dick, do you?
I think he sucked dick. Yes,
come on.
I think all of them already did.
Trump has been with some of the finest Playboy models. He got a super. You think he's sucking dick?
What do that mean? Yes, he's sucking dick. What do that mean? He can't like getting pegged in ass.
No, the guy ain't gay.
You don't think that's something that can happen? So you think Lindsey Graham the skinwalker like he like coochie? Skinwalker don't like coochie. He like little boys.
I'm talking about Trump. Trump is an alpha male. He ain't sucking dick.
Like little boys too. Did you remember Sasha Riley? Are we talking about the same people? Are we talking about the same shit?
I mean, let me just say this, and real quick before we continue. Why even try? Says Tim, you help these idiots vote for the monster. Why are you so stupid? I helped them vote for who? Why even try? Who did I help them vote for? I didn't help them vote for anybody. Go ahead, say that again.
I said, I like when keep on reporting me. I like when y'all report me.
Yeah, they don't like
that
you
make me know I'm doing it right.
But I'm going to tell you, I got to disagree with you. I think Trump has had some of the finest women that God has ever produced. I don't think he's sucking dick.
So did Andy Warhol, motherfucker. So did Andy Warhol. Did anybody know if Andy Warhol was gay or not? Wait a minute. So did Prince. But how many times did y'all tell Prince he was gay before y'all figured out he wasn't?
I don't think Prince was sucking dick. I think Prince was just a metrosexual.
Okay, but that's my point. Y'all got all mad and was so, oh, yeah, he looked like a girl. The androgynous style, it looked like he a girl. He might be gay. Remember that shit?
Trump ain't
Prince
gay.
was fucking all of them broads.
Trump
ain't. Everyone wanted to be with Trump, with Prince too.
Trump ain't even.
What are you talking about?
Trump ain't even pro-gay. I don't think oh my God, no.
You ain't got to be pro-gay to like it, bruh. Okay, again.
Jesus Christ.
Did they crash Grindr at the memorial or not?
I heard rumors of that.
But did they? You know they crashed.
I heard rumors at Charlie Kirk's funeral. It was hard to get on Grindr.
You know damn well they crashed Grindr at the memorial. A bunch of men looking on men for men. Let's stop playing.
I get
and Trump ass was there.
And I see in the comments, someone is saying Trump ain't gay, but he does gay shit. Ain't that a song? I'm not gay, but I do gay shit, like sucking dicks in the back of a truck or something. No, the man ain't doing that. No.
Yeah, he is.
No.
He is, man. He on the DL. You like it a certain way.
No, that's really disappointing. Chris in the comments said he wears a lot of makeup. No, you guys are mean.
Hey. Wait, he got a point there. He's so against drag queens, but he the only motherfucker walking around wearing more makeup than them. And a diaper. And he walking around. Did you see them clown shoes that he gave to Lil Marco?
And they way too big. They way too fucking. It look like ski shoes. They way too big.
Exactly. Exactly. He walking around looking like a damn clown.
But let's give it up for what Trump really is. He ain't gay. He's a pimp. He can make all them do whatever he wants them to do. He's a pimp.
Trump is not no pimp. You know what? Trump can't be the pimp. The pimp is Kim Jong-un. The pimp is Vladimir Putin. The pimp is motherfucking what's that boy name? Bibi Netanyahu. Them the pimps. Trump the hoe. You gotta get it correct.
You disrespecting the hell out of our commander-in-chief.
I don't care. Do you think I give a damn? He disrespecting the hell out of the armed services and the rest of this damn country by stealing from it every second of the damn day. He's the only damn person in history to make almost more than $1 billion in his first year as a president off of the damn presidency. He's still trying to get $10 billion from us from suing his own damn country.
This
war is costing us $54 billion a day with a B.
He is
What
getting
are we talking about?
He is getting incredibly wealthy off the office.
What are we talking about?
Real quick before we continue, Mark says, Mark 58111, thank you for your generosity. Says Trump has a history of using lies to justify illegal actions. For example, war with Iran and his use of ICE to illegally detain U.S. citizens using national security to trample all over the Constitution. Well, you're gonna get more of that come election time when he starts declaring national emergencies to fuck with the polling places. So you're gonna get more of that.
Yep.
Then Cal says Trump was practicing on TV with a micro. Oh my God! Oh no! He did do that. He did indicate he was
just once. He did it a couple times.
Yeah.
Remember when he was talking about Iron Palmer's junk? Why was he talking about
Yeah,
that?
He did.
Why was he talking about that?
He did form virtual fellatio with a microphone on television.
He was talking about Arnold Palmer's junk. He's talking about how it was so big, bro. Why are you looking at AP's junk like that, bro?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I still have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing that a billionaire with his own TV show, with his own companies, multiple companies, would be out sucking dick. I just can't see it. I can't see it.
You are having a hard time because your heart won't let you see it. But what you're not understanding is, dude, he's on the DL. He like dick. He like to suck dick. That's what they do.
No, he don't.
Yes, he do, man. Look,
No.
he like pipe fitting. He like to smoke a pipe, and I ain't talking about a peace pipe.
You guys have heard me, and I see in the comments, Duke 38 says, "Don't forget he married Rudolph Giuliani in a wedding dress." Yeah, I remember that, but that's you guys are. I gotta get some MAGA up here because you guys are hurting my feelings.
I'm saying though, you having a hard time thinking about it and actually putting it together, but it's a pattern. These are not coincidences. These are a pattern of things. This is why I said that. This is a pattern of shit. It's a pattern. Come on, man.
All right, I gotta let you go because you got me feeling weird tonight. I gotta move it on, man. You crazy?
Yeah, run away now. Run away.
King, always a pleasure talking to you. I got to go.
Hey, Tim, one more time. Wait. What he be sucking on though?
Nothing. Bye. Listen, and oh my God. Let me just say this one more time. The man had all the supermodels in the world. The man has had mail order brides, because I do believe that's what Melania Trump amounts to. A mail order bride that's damn near 30 years your junior. She's a model, speaks many languages. Not the type of guy that sucks dick. I just can't see it. Yes or no? Let me try it again. This time I'm gonna get some better answers. By way of yes or no in the comments. How many of you folks believe our actual president of the United States is sucking dick? None of you believe that, right? Absolutely none of you believe that. That this guy's out sucking dick. I'm assuming that, right? You guys are saying yes? What the fuck?
He is, and you be too, though. I mean, you fucking men love to suck, man. Damn, especially the YT man. And I told your ugly ass I look good. They just hating on me, saying I'm AI, bitch. I'm never AI. My ass looks good, titties, ass, and long ass hair that you can pull.
Okay,
okay?
But you don't believe that the president is sucking dick.
You're asking me?
Yes.
Are you sucking Winky, the white man, on your knees all the time? Yes.
Oh.
So yes, I hear that little fuckwad is sucking in, fucking in. Yeah. Don't ever get that shit twisted. The YT man, Christian YT man, they love sucking and fucking. They get paid.
I just have
so what the hell?
And real quick in the comments, Mark, thank you for your generosity. Mark says, love your content.
Marcus says, don't forget about his ass.
Hold on. Mark says, Mark 888 says, love your. Hang on a second. Can I get this man his flowers? Thank you.
My bad. I was talking to Mike.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, everybody can hear you at the same time. Mark 58111 says, love your content, entertaining, and you take criticism from all sides. Yeah, I'm getting it right now. She says, I suck dick. Glad to support and we'll keep watching. Thank you. Absolutely, Mark. 58 for that. So why the hell would you say I do that? What the fuck is that mean?
Let me tell you something. Because they have to go get something fine. Because the Democrat women, including myself with long hair, we look gorgeous. Have you seen the snow roaches lately? The Republican side? Oh, honey.
I disagree. I disagree with you. Listen, I disagree with you.
I would not F them if with a can of paint. I would go.
There are a lot of very attractive Republicans. I mean, Fox News. Fox News had all of the women that have come through Fox News that has been
they smugly. Fuck the ugly. They smugly. They are snow roaches.
I'll tell you one thing.
What I'm saying? You need rain.
The women on Fox are more attractive than the women on MS Now and CNN. I disagree with you on that.
You will fuck a hole. Okay?
Why I gotta be?
That looks white. Let's bring it. Because every damn time you allow white man to disrespect me. But I'll come up against a white man for your ugly ass.
What does this got to do with why is race coming out of this?
Because let me tell you, and you need to tell your straight talk. Don't you ever call your ass a moron. I'm the only one to call your ass a moron. I got the pass, okay? Because I'm fine. As wine.
All right, you're fine as wine, but
ugly ass. I seen him. He's white and ugly. His bald head is big. Have you ever seen that alien with the big head? It was a show. It had a big head.
E.T.?
No, I wouldn't even insult E.T. E.T.'s cute.
What the fuck? What the hell?
I'm crossfaded. I apologize. I'm so crossfaded. I feel good. But I told you, Tim, I look fine. And now the snow roaches always says I look, what is it called? I was AI, but I showed you a picture. Is AI on it? Yeah. No, honey.
It is nice for you to put pictures on your profile because people would say you were white. They say you're a white woman.
I'm so not white.
Well, they want you to turn your camera on so you can back up what you're saying.
I have a dancing picture of my shit, honey, and I know how to do my fucking hips unlike your snow roaches.
Okay, but
I don't need a BBL, honey. I don't need a BBL.
But I stand by my statement. Fox News has more attractive women than
but you're a fucking hole, so I mean.
This ain't got nothing to do with that.
No, let me tell you something. I break this shit down to you. Anything that's white that has two legs and an open gap in between and they let everybody run through it, you will fuck. But if you had to touch a black woman, you wouldn't touch a intelligent black woman. You always knock us down. Yeah.
This ain't got nothing to do with, listen, I actually, it's on my computer somewhere. I met Kamala Harris in person. She's very attractive. She's very attractive in person. I got to hug her and everything. I think she's very attractive. I think she was a bad candidate. But I think she's attractive.
I bet they want her now, though. I bet they want her now. Because all women will put us in a war. And orange rice orangutans put us in a damn war.
Oh, my God. Come
on, quit fluffing. Tim, I should you not. I should you get off your knees.
This has nothing to do with fluffing or being on my knees. I just think that you have an issue with white people. You sound like you're intolerant.
Okay. Let me. I want to say this one more time with your special ass, okay? I have a problem with snow roaches, aka the maggots. Now, I do not have a problem with our allies. Do you comprehend that, Pookie?
You have a problem with every single Trump supporter in existence? They took her down, apparently. You know what happens with Gangsta Grandma. Folks call in, and unfortunately, we lost Gangsta Grandma, so you know what happened. But she's always welcome back on the program. We don't block, ban, or censor, but we can't control the apps. So Gangsta Grandma was taken down, but we'll continue on. Nevertheless, tap the screen. Get us on up to 65,000, if you will. Looking in the comments, she is a racist. Says, who said that she's a racist? I'm getting blind as the days goes on. That came from the agent Aaron. She called him a snow roach. I'm sorry, that's fine. She's not calling me a snow roach. Put it this way, Christopher Spain. A snow roach is the opposite of a snow bunny. That's the negative version of it. That's what she's talking about. She's not talking about me. She's talking about white women. She calls them snow roaches. I think that's an intolerant term. The world is being liberated and Democrats are siding with terrorists. My family in Mexico loves Trump for taking on the cartels. Has he really done anything, though, in terms of cartels? You really think the world is being liberated? The freest country on earth is deporting everybody and detaining everybody that they think may be an immigrant. And we're the ones that's liberating people? Have you not noticed all of the ICE detention centers being built all over the country? They're literally buying more warehouses than Amazon right now. That's the country that's liberating the world? That doesn't make a lot of sense. I just want to tell you. ICE people, listen, folks. We are the biggest exporter of media and entertainment worldwide. Our music, our movies, our television shows, worldwide. Our news spreads like that as well. The world sees the likes of Alex Preddy. The world saw what happened to Renee Nicole Good. They seen what we tried to do to Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Liberating the world? That country? That ain't believable. We're kicking people out. We're actually deporting people back to Haiti, back to Somalia. And we're deporting people back to Cuba while actively making Cuba a humanitarian crisis. We've put on a full oil embargo or blockade, rather. They can get no fuel to that nation. Talking about Cuba. They're suggesting that the citizens of Cuba only have power 3 hours per day. So you can imagine trying to keep meat and refrigeration working. Cuba's a tropical climate. You can only imagine how stifling it must be to only have power for 3 hours a day because the United States is blocking you from receiving any energy. That nation is liberating the world? Wow, that really sounds like you're drunk on propaganda to make that statement. I'm not saying everything the United States is doing is bad, but we damn sure ain't liberating the world. That's got to be crazy. Anyway, looking in the comments, Tim, MAGA will be put in these camps and thank Trump for free housing. Wow, you think Trump is going to put MAGA in a camp and MAGA is so brainwashed that they're going to thank him for doing it? I hope not. That sounds almost as crazy as Trump sucking dick. Mike, good evening. Welcome to the program. Torturing says just hanging. I hope you're wrong about that. Mike, good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Tim?
Are we winning or is this shit getting worse?
Shit's getting worse, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because there's no strategy and there's no direction. And that's not my words. Donald Trump said that there wasn't a strategy. They don't have an exit strategy. Last week.
Okay, let me ask you this. What does victory look like? What is the goal? What are we trying to achieve in Iran?
Are you asking me or are you asking?
I'm asking anybody who's watching, including you who happens to be the caller.
They want the resources, Tim. That's all this is about, is resources. This is about oil. This is about minerals. This is about re-hemisphering. This is about controlling that region. That's what this is about. They do want to hurt China and Russia through this. They do. They don't want to come out and say it, but they're trying. But
I thought this was about liberating protests. Somebody just said that Trump is liberating the world.
Yeah, and again, if they want to believe that, I'm not arguing with these ignorant motherfuckers no more. If they don't want to read what they wrote down and told you what they're going to do, then what's the point? Listen, if they want to believe that this is about that, fine. But that's not what this is about. And they're telling you that this is not what it's about. Let me ask you this, Tim. Have you ever said, and I know you've had employees before, have you ever said a job was done and then turn around and ask for help for the job you just said was fucking done?
Only if I didn't know what the hell I was talking. Like I said, it sounds like mission accomplished. Only way I would do that is if I didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Right. And so do incompetent people hire incompetent people? Do incompetent people put incompetent people in positions they have no business being in?
Yes, but Trump promised us he was going to hire the best and brightest.
I know what he said. The best and brightest, or some of the best and brightest, were people that he fucking got rid of. Right? You got to remember. Listen, let's remember when they called all of those leaders to the Pentagon and had this huge fucking meeting. They had to all be there. You remember this? When he was
talking about they got to lose weight and all that shit.
Right, he was on the stage doing all that shit, and we talked about it back then. Those men that have more stripes and have a longer career, he wants to talk to them about how to do this. Yeah. So would you be surprised that there are people in the military that are against what's going on?
I wouldn't be surprised, but they're saying an internal revolt. That's different.
I understand. And I understand. Listen, everybody that's still talking about this from their political position. Because see, I'm more like you, I'm more center. The problem is these people are telling us that we're far left. The problem is they're moving far right. We just haven't moved. I haven't moved, right? I mean, there's so many nuances that we can debate as far as my worldviews about things, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the foundation of where we are right now. Everything that Donald Trump has told this country has been a lie. Just go back and look at the timeline. First, he said they were going to have capabilities in 7 days. Then he said 3 days, right? So those are lies. Then he said we did it back in June, and now we got to do it again now. Those are lies. It's not about that. It's about the oil. If we haven't,
But Mike, the only way we can this is not Venezuela. The only way we can successfully take Iranian oil, we'd have to occupy that country.
Right. Well, and again, yes.
You think that's the goal, is to occupy Iran?
I think it's to control it, and the only way to control it is to occupy it. But you're asking me. These motherfuckers aren't thinking that. These idiots aren't thinking that, Tim. This American exceptionalism from these cisgender white men is out of fucking control. They will believe that transgender are their problem while simultaneously not paying attention to what's right in front of their face. There's no way we can occupy this country without losing significant lives.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's not even, you don't have to be a military expert to know that. Right? You don't. You don't have to be a military. Listen, the fact that he's asking for help, does that tell you that it's more difficult than they thought or less difficult than they thought?
That's the reason why I came on the show, entitled it, Are We Winning or Is It Getting Worse? Because if you're asking for help, that don't look good. I mean, it's just, that don't look like, you're telling us on a scale of 1 to 10, we're doing so well, it's a 15. And then a week later, you told the UK, we don't need your aircraft carriers. We don't need people who join wars after they're already won. And a week later, you're asking the UK to send ships. Yeah, it looks like shit is going backwards.
The arrogance of their participation trophy mindset. I've been telling your ass that for a while. They want to declare victory when they haven't won. That is the definition of a participation trophy, right? Now, we have servicemen and women over there, going over there, and that will be there long after. They just said that people need to get out of Iraq.
But how about this in the comments? Pluto says he's asking for help because he doesn't want any dead white European bodies.
I don't know. I'm not going to push back on that.
Well, but he is asking for the UK and France to send ships. They're white Europeans. So I don't agree with that.
And that's why I said I'm not going to necessarily go. But here's the thing. Here's what we know. This is all self-serving. He doesn't give a fuck about that. See, this is what I told you before. You can be a racist. You can be a white supremacist and a white nationalist and not give a fuck about all white people. Let's just be clear.
Bro, N-word lovers.
Yeah, you damn right. Exactly. Yeah. Or listen, and this is the president that, for you Trump supporters, this is the one that has disparaged every military person that I can recall. You remember Arlington? You remember suckers and losers? You remember disrespecting John McCain? This man does not respect our armed service men and women. This is, in my opinion, these are things that he has said. He does so much shit that people forget what he said and what he's done. He doesn't respect women. He doesn't respect the military. He calls them suckers and losers. Y'all, listen.
Well, he denies that. I know General Milley or somebody said he denies he said that.
He denies everything. He was taught to deny. If you listen, if you told him right now, just like he told Tulsi Gabbard when she said, no, they're not, they haven't reinitiated their nuclear enrichment program to that point. He said she was, she don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, he did say that.
He said, I don't believe it. He's always, but Tim, is this the first time he didn't listen or believe his intelligence agency? They told him in his first term that Russia had interfered. What he said? Well, I asked Putin and he said,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah, he was picking. Listen, yeah, he was picking Russian intelligence over the NSA. Yeah, I remember doing a live on it.
His own people. So, listen, the people like Cedric in the comments and Straight Talks Commerce, they just listen. I'm gonna tell you this, Tim, and listen. Hey, to each his own. If they like squeezing dicks in both hands and being, and they fluff, that's fine. That's fine. But just stay there. Just don't act like you're not doing it. Because everything I said was factual, but I'm yapping. And let me clear up something from Commerce earlier. What I said was, the oil we're getting from Venezuela, I didn't say we couldn't enrich it because I know we can enrich it, but it takes longer because it's a heavy cruder oil.
Yeah.
I knew that, but it has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with what's going on right now. If it was so consequential, then why are prices going up? That was my point to him. But see, they don't like to talk.
Well,
about
according to Trump, not only will this war be or this conflict be over soon, the price of oil is going to go down. The price of fuel is going to even be cheaper than it was before this started.
Yeah, I know. But as Department of Energy said, have you seen that? Did you go look that up, Tim?
No.
If you go to the department, listen, anybody that's on here, just Google this. Department of Energy's forecast for oil. Just Google it. They say we're not going to see oil prices going down to below conflict until mid-2027 at the earliest. I didn't say that. That's what they said. Dre, am I telling, isn't that what they said, Dre? I see Dre in the comments. He put 2027. These aren't, listen, nothing I'm telling you when we talk about facts and stats, none of these are mine. I'm just telling you what they're saying.
Yeah, the AI overview says the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the EIA, projects U.S. crude oil production will reach record highs average of 13.6 million barrels per day. Well, this is our stuff, though. It doesn't say the forecast what you're talking about. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Go to the website. Go to the website.
Domestic oil. This is domestic stuff. So price outlook higher WTI forecast for 2026. But it says 74 billion. I don't get what I'm looking at here in 2027.
There's a graph. There's a simple graph in there that'll show you. You're going to see a huge arc, and it's going to start coming down. And then you look at the year at the very end. It's going to say 2027.
And I see in the comments, one of the viewers, BJ the Portugal says, "Fuck this entire current administration of the United States government, especially their leader, and fuck you if you support it." So he's not a big fan of the Trump administration. Are you Portuguese? Because apparently he doesn't sound like he's an American, but it is what it is. I don't know. So you think in other words, even if this war ends tomorrow, we're going to be still paying out the yin yang for fuel for a while?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, hold on, Tim. Hold on for a second. Let me get my data source. Yeah, because it is on the EIA website.
And real quick in the comments, if that's the case, you can Google the next stock. Well, here, let me just say, while you're doing that, I'll respond to a caller because somebody is chirping about using AI overview. I guess that indicates that all AI overviews are wrong or something like that. But you said if that's the case, you can Google the next stock set to skyrocket. Well, the fact is, the analysts are not speaking favorably of of fuel coming down either. It's kind of like when Trump said the tariffs are going to bring us a fortune and the citizens don't pay the tariffs. And all the analysts, even the ones on the right, like Charles Payne, even on Fox, even they admitted, no, this is not true. So some of the things he's saying Yeah, even right wing financial analysts and some of them folks are saying it doesn't make sense. But what do you got there, Mike?
Yeah. See this right here? You
Yeah,
see this right here?
yeah,
This is crude oil production, right? Crude oil production. You see this curve right here?
yeah.
What does that say, Tim?
I can't
Right
see
there,
I
right-
can't see the numbers clear enough on there.
Right where my cursor is. What does that say?
That says January 2027 or
And what do you
July. Is
see
that
right
July
here?
or January?
That's July. And what do you see right here?
It's starting to bounce back.
It's going up.
Yeah, it's starting to bounce back.
That's not good. Right. Look how long it's gonna take.
Yeah. Well,
Look how long it's gonna take.
Listen. Go ahead. The right is going to say that's just speculatory. They're not going to.
Yeah, I know.
They're not going to buy
But you
it.
know what? How was everything else priced? Through what? Speculation?
Yeah.
Everything is speculatory, right?
I'll just say this. What Trump has been saying so far that's going to happen is not happening. We can go with that. We don't have to take AI overview. We can go with Trump ending the war in 24 hours. Your price of groceries is going to come down on day one. Trump has been saying. And that should be enough to at least realize everything he predicts does not come true. I mean, he's saying a lot of stuff that's not happening.
And you know what? And it will continue. Hold on 1 second. Let me give you one more. I'm doing this for Cedric's bitch ass. But put that one up there real quick before I go. Now, here we go. What do we see there, Tim?
Hang on, I got to put on my spectacles to read that. For some reason, it's not super clear over here to begin with. But what line am I looking at?
You got your spot averages right here. This is 2024.
Yeah.
Went down 2025.
And by 2027, it's at 61, and that's the lowest out of all of them.
Yeah, right. So again, what about the price right here? Retail diesel fuel, retail gas.
They got it averaging in 2024 331 down to 310 in 2025, but up to 334, and then he got 318. So I guess it corrects by 2027.
Thank you. Okay, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
And 334, it's higher than that now.
And mind you, that's if everything stopped today.
Right. Yeah, because it's averaging higher than 334 now, I think. So it's gotten worse since that was created.
Exactly. And so all I'm saying is, listen, I'm gonna jump. I'm not gonna stay on too long anyway. People want to continue to try to make shit what it is. And by the way, all you got to do is Google that and go look in depth and figure it out yourself. That's EIA.gov, and you can go find all the information up there. So if you want to know, you can find it out. If you don't want to know, just stay in your cult. Just stay in your own, gravy of bullshit. That's cool. If you want to tug on him and just say he's the best, fine. You're not making yourself any better. Actually, you're putting yourself in a position that when it does actually hit, you won't be prepared to do anything.
Well, one thing I will say is that most sites, links, analysts, newscasters, whatever you want to, anybody that says anything negative about Trump, if Trump says that that's fake news, MAGA's going to ride with that. So if Trump says that the EIA has put out fake information, then they're going to go with it being fake.
And again, they have every right to do that. They have every right to do that. Our job is to push back and educate those people that are looking to understand what's real and what's not. They're going to believe what they're going to. Straight talk, listen. Straight talk Thomas can go sit down and have coffee with Trump, and Trump could tell him to his face, it's all been bullshit and a lie. He's either going to say, I know, or he's going to say nothing. But when he comes back to talk to you, he'll never admit the conversation even happened. That's how far those people are going, Tim. They'll never admit this shit because the things that he's talking about, and he served in the military, he should know better. They're evacuating Iraq right now.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, an embassy got hit. And that's another reason why I asked is, are we winning or is it getting worse? Because now you're telling Americans in Iraq, which I don't know why the hell an American would be in Iraq to begin with, but they're telling Americans to leave Iraq.
Well, you know what we talked about the other day?
What do you mean?
You remember what I was telling you the other day? That's where I was telling you the people. Yes. So they're everywhere. We have U.S. military members and government contractors in every region in the Middle East. Every region. They're all over the place. And guess who else knows that?
They do. Iran
These
knows.
people need to just wake the fuck up. Listen, pray for our soldiers. We got to keep our heads to the ground. We can't relent on these people because they just want to be comfortable. We have to challenge them and educate as many people as we can, and hopefully we can get as many soldiers back here safe and to their families as humanly possible. Because when the truth comes out, all of those MAGAs and those people that love our armed services, he's going to have to deal with them.
Well, we'll see how that goes. Mike, appreciate you coming through, and I don't disagree with that.
Buddy.
Thank you. And by the way, in the comments, Cedric Haney says probably some liberals out there trying to protect some terrorists. Huh? I don't think so. Well, let me just say it like this. America kind of has a fucked up definition of what a terrorist is. It just is what it is. I mean, America coins phrases that are designed to demonize certain people. I'll give you an example. If I suppose if I said a thug, what comes to mind? What type of person comes to mind if I say a racist? What type of person comes to mind? If I say a terrorist, what type of person? If I say, a group of terrorists, you don't think of Asians. I mean, a certain type of people come to mind. I mean, when you hear the term racist in America, you tend to think white people. When you hear thugs, you tend to think black people. If you say immigrants, you tend to think Hispanics. We have words that demonize, even though anybody can be an immigrant. Anyone can be a thug. Anyone can be a racist. Anyone can be a terrorist. But you only think of one type of person when you hear these words. America, I submit to you, does a hell of a lot of things in other countries that would be viewed as terrorism if somebody did it to us. A lot of things we do that would be viewed as terrorism if somebody did it to us. But for some reason, when we do it, we just paint a rosy picture on it, suggest we're liberating people or something of that nature, and we justify it. But we commit acts that are just as terroristic as all the shit we claim to be concerned with. We do all of that stuff. Like you heard my last caller suggesting that we got folks in that region all over the damn place, contractors and all. What do you think our contractors are doing there? Stealing resources, grifting, and really setting back the people in that region. Anyhow, looking in the comments, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 80,000. If you're watching us on YouTube, I need you guys to smash that like button. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We are MAGA friendly. Always will be MAGA friendly. Always has been from the start. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. So you can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. If you favor free speech, you're in the right place. Follow the program if you're currently watching us live on Substack, Instagram, or TikTok. And if you're watching us on YouTube, give us a sub. Certainly would help us out. What do you think where do you think all those protesters come from? It's hard to say what Iranian protesters are protesting. I'm sure that the government, the Ayatollah, is doing things that some citizens of Iran does not like. I mean, but then again, did you see what happened here on No King's Day? Yeah, I would submit to you that America looked just as bad as Iran if you were in a different state. I mean, a different country. If you're sitting in France, if you're sitting in Greenland, and you're watching BBC or Sky News or some worldwide news network, what's the difference between the amount of protesters in the street protesting the Ayatollah and the ones that are protesting President Trump on No King's Day? Or the ones that are demanding that ICE be abolished? Well, some would say, well, the Ayatollah is killing his protesters. It wouldn't take but a little bit of photography to show ICE, Alex Preddy, Renee Nicole Good, people getting beaten with sticks and pepper spray. It ain't like we were treating ours with dignity and respect. Yeah, Trump didn't kill 60,000 or whatever they claim happened in Iran, but he absolutely was not treating them kindly. He was not observing their First Amendment free speech right. He was not treating them good either. So, and I'll go with what MAGA React says. 2 versus 30,000. Whatever happened to 1 is too many. Whatever happened to that? What our commander-in-chief was doing to the protesters here wasn't great. He wasn't the Ayatollah. I'm not going to say anything that happened in America was on the same level as the Ayatollah, but it certainly was unbecoming of an American society. That ain't what we normally do. Do we have to get down to the Ayatollah's level before it's worthy of recognition? Tap the screen, going back to the box, looking in the comments, they weren't just standing there with signs either. Don't know what you mean by that. Is that Trump's problem or the Department of Homeland Security? It is his Homeland Security Department. You don't get to separate. He's the one that put Christine Ohm in there, Bovino in there, Tom Homan in there. It's his department. So if the Department of Homeland Security is fucking up, then Trump gets blamed for it. It's his department. He's in control of it. Let me go back to the box. Is it his problem? Yes. He said he was going to surround himself with the best and brightest. Did he do that? Going back to the box, MAGA reacts. Good evening. Yes, that's exactly what the Dems want to happen so they can cry. Hang on a second. Hold on a second. Cedric Heine says, yes, that's exactly what the Dems want so they can cry someone. What do they want? I don't get it. MAGA, go ahead.
I hate to use the word fluffing because only dumb people think what you do is fluff. I know what you do. You try to trigger people by saying shit that will just piss them off. How are you going to compare 2 people that died because they chose to be in the face of ICE and, one drove her car toward ICE, the other one had a gun on him while being arrested, to 30,000 people getting killed just for protesting? All of them unarmed because you can't have a gun in Iran.
Because they were optional killings. Because they killed them as a matter of choice.
Optional? How is Alex and Nicole optional?
You telling me that if they didn't take Alex Preddy out, somebody was about to die at his hands?
He had a gun.
That ain't what I asked you. Was he about to use that gun in a lethal manner on anybody?
We don't. All right, I'll give you that one.
Right. So you're fluffing. You're getting real fluffy. You want some Hostess Twinkies to go with that?
Defense. It happens all the time.
It was an optional killing.
1,000 times before, and it had nothing to do with ICE.
Alex.
You have 1,000 videos online of the same shit happening. Whenever you introduce a gun to a situation like that, people end up dying. It happens all the time in this country.
I'm going to say what I just said. It was an optional killing. They didn't have the guys on the ground. The guys on the ground. He's been pepper sprayed. He's been pepper sprayed. He's getting hit in the head with the can of pepper spray, and there's 6 dudes on him. There was no absolute need to shoot him.
That was the 3rd time they told him to fuck off.
And
the second time, within 10 minutes, they pepper sprayed him. They pepper sprayed him, told him to stay on the sidewalk, and he came back.
So he was shot because he didn't follow instructions.
No, he got shot because he had a gun on him while he was being arrested and resisting.
No. The people that shot him didn't even see the gun because they would have knew he was unarmed when they were shooting him.
No, 4 of them saw the gun and yelled gun. Only one of them disarmed them. If the one that disarmed him shot him, I would agree with you. But the one that disarmed him wasn't the one that shot him.
Right, so that guy didn't see shit.
Well, he knows he has the gun.
No, he don't. Look, you can't shoot somebody because
I don't want to waste time on one of your black holes.
You've already wasted a hell of a lot of time with the shit you said. What do you want to talk about?
I don't even know. Michael shit pissed me off.
And you don't think you're pissing people off right now? And you don't think you're
shitty predictions? Because he likes to pick up predictions. He's a what if prediction man. It's like, what if this happens? What if this happens? Oh, look, there's a prediction that says oil's going to go up. Oil must go up then.
Mike pissed you off of what he said. You don't think what you're saying right now is pissing people off?
Time machine. He doesn't have a time machine. How about this? Let him invest every dime he's got in oil futures if he thinks oil's going to keep going up like that. And let's see who's rich and who's broke.
Let me just tell you this. And this is what I said when Mike was on here. We don't even have to go by what Mike posted. We can go by what Trump is saying. Trump is constantly making predictions that are not coming true.
I mean, it's only been he makes it sound like this war has gone on for 2 years.
I'm not talking about just the war, MAGA. I'm talking about everything from groceries to ending wars overseas. He's saying a lot of stuff that ain't coming true.
I mean, to be honest, he's been pretty good. Inflation has been low. It's been below 3%. Anytime inflation's below 3%, that's fucking good. Fucking Biden had inflation up to 9%, and his whole 4 years was like 22%.
What happened to the Ukrainian-Russian war? He was going to end in
24, and so far it's still 2.4.
What happened to the Ukrainian-Russian war? He was going to end in 24 hours.
I mean, he's still working on it. You don't think all this shit is designed to weaken Russia so they can end this fucking war?
He said 24 hours.
Michael admitted this is to weaken Russia and China.
He said,
you don't think when he weakens Russia, they're going to be like, all right, let's stop fighting Ukraine and play nice?
He said 24 hours, not 24 months.
Okay. It's not going to be 24 hours. I'm sorry. It's going to take a while, and he still hasn't failed until he's like, if he leaves presidency and there's still a war, then he failed.
Oh, so he get his. So he promised 24. So what you're saying is he promised 24 hours, but he actually gets his whole term to deliver.
You get your whole term, yes. That goes for any president. You get your whole term, and that's how it goes.
That ain't how it
Especially
goes.
You're working on it, and you're constantly working on it, and you're working on weakening Iran and weakening Russia. Because that's what he's done this whole time. Weaken Russia and weaken Iran.
I don't recall this, MAGA, when Biden was in office, that we were giving him time to fix his whole term to bring down the price of eggs. I don't recall us saying he had his whole term to do that. We were attacking that guy. I was attacking him. I was attacking Biden along with everybody else. We didn't give him his whole term to do that.
We gave him a lot. We gave him at least 2
Bullshit.
years to bring down inflation.
No, you didn't. You shot down the border bill. He still had almost a year in office. And
the border bill wasn't going to fix anything.
You were attacking him on the border.
The reason we didn't give him time is because his solution to inflation was more government spending.
No, it was.
We know for a fact that government spending leads to inflation.
Okay.
And his inflation bill was just fucking government spending.
Okay, so think about what you're saying. You knew for a fact what Biden was doing was not going to work. Well, they know for a fact what Trump is doing is not going to work. So if you can speak out about Biden, they can speak out about Trump.
I still gave Trump a whole year for his inflation fucking reduction to work. It didn't work. It made inflation worse. The only thing that made the fucking inflation better, was
I think you're just giving Trump the benefit of the doubt, and you were not giving that to Biden.
I'm just giving him a little bit more time.
Right.
He ran out, to be honest with you, I gave him a year. That time has run out. I'm just gonna give him a little bit more time because I got nobody else to fucking root for.
How do you favor what he's doing with this whole Epstein thing?
What does Epstein have? Where did Epstein come from? What are we talking about?
This is more part of his promises. How do you favor what's going on with that?
I don't care about that.
So you don't. So you don't care if he was banging kids?
I don't think he was banging kids.
That ain't what I asked you. Do you care if he did?
Let's put it like this. He's got 25 accusations online. Not a single one of them has to do with him banging anyone. All his accusations is like, oh, he looked at me at the locker room, or at the most is like he fingered some chick. There's no accusations of him actually having intercourse with anybody.
With all of that redacted shit, MAGA, how do you know?
I'm talking about the public shit that's online right now in Wikipedia and all over.
Yeah, but most of the stuff that's in the Epstein files, we don't even know what's there because they redacted most of it. His people hid all of that shit.
All his emails are online, and Trump didn't email him once.
So what about the 13-year-old that was interviewed by the feds 4 times claiming he tried to shove his you-know-what in her mouth and she bit it and he hit her? She just making that up too?
No hard evidence of this? You know anything about this? Because as far as I know, there's no hard evidence. It's just someone. I could call the FBI right now and tell them that you and Epstein and Trump raped some 13-year-old, and it would be added to the fucking file.
They interviewed her 4 times.
Yeah, and they didn't pursue it because there's probably something wrong with her story.
What do you mean they didn't pursue it? If they're interviewing her 4 times, no, somebody got paid off is what happened. There's a reason why all of these folks getting NDAs.
Biden's FBI got paid off because I'm pretty sure I don't remember. Do you know the dates of her interviews?
Would it matter? 1983 was when she 19.
No, the date
19.
of the interview. I mean, the statute of limitation also matters, but I'm talking about the date the FBI interviewed her. Because your whole claim to fame is that FBI interviewed her 4 times.
I
When
think
did this happen?
didn't they lift the statute of limitation on rape? I think they got rid of that.
I don't know. I don't know. No. It's only civil and only in New York. Like, you talking about Eugene Carroll? That only happened because it was civil and in New York.
Well, him not only refusing to release the shit to the point where they had to force his hand, and then he still was not releasing it. Him saying, stop talking about Epstein. None of that concerns you at all, to him acting like that?
Well, now that I see that the files are full of, like, false claims, I mean, I thought I was going to see an email or a picture or something of Trump. I have nothing.
What about the other abusers? I mean, take Trump out of the picture. We know somebody did something to somebody, right? I mean, he's protecting other people too.
Yeah, but the FBI probably would have gone after them. But again,
so you think it's
when there's proof, we'll talk about it.
So you think the whole Epstein files is a nothing burger? Nobody was assaulted.
Bro, as far as I know, most of those files are his just fucking spam emails. I know people were assaulted. I'm not saying that. But, like, was it just Epstein or was it everybody around him too? Because,
well, what I'm trying to find out,
just a fucking partier.
What I'm trying to find out from you is, does Trump give the inclination that he is trying to help these girls get justice and get to the bottom of this stuff?
I think it's too late for justice for them, no matter what.
Does it look like he's pursuing it, or does he look like he's saying what you said? Well, fuck y'all, it's kind of too late for you anyway. Is that what he's telling them? It's too late?
I just don't think he has enough evidence to do anything. And it's not him. Like, you guys
it is him.
Doing it himself. No, it's the thousands of FBI agents underneath him.
No. You're telling me that you're wrong.
He planned the battle plan. You're acting like he told the fucking army or military where to fire their missiles. And that wait a minute.
You're telling me with all those redacted files, if Trump said, I want all this stuff to be released unredacted, he couldn't make that happen?
I don't even know. I mean, he probably could. He's
Probably.
But what's in them? Do we want that released?
He can release it to Congress.
I think it is. Because every time his taxes get released or something get released, ends up being nothing. Remember, you guys said the same thing about his taxes. That his taxes are going to get released.
The only reason those files are redacted is because the Trump administration did the redactions. If Trump wanted that stuff to be released in its entirety, it would be. The only reason we don't know what's in there is because of Trump.
Deja vu of Russia, deja vu of everything that happened before. It's the same story over and over again. You keep saying that there's proof of this and proof of that, but all you got is
redactions. All we have is. But if there's nothing there, why all the secrecy?
Because it's still fucking people's privacy. It's still fucking crazy shit that you don't want to just release.
So in other words, he is protecting the men as opposed to helping the women.
I don't know what the fuck he's protecting, Tim. I don't know, and unlike fucking.
But you just said privacy, so you just said privacy, so you're admitting he's protecting somebody.
Protecting victims, protecting God knows who. I don't know. Until the files are released, I don't give a fuck. And until there's proof, like legit proof, I really don't give a fuck about those files.
I don't think you would believe the proof. Based on what you've been saying now, I don't think that.
You guys, we've been at this for what, 10 years? I went for 2 years of Russia, being told that, tomorrow we're gonna have the proof. Then fucking 2 years of, he's gonna go to jail for his fucking, for the this and that and this other thing. I mean, every fucking 6 months is a new fucking story, and the proof is coming, and it never comes.
Is he acting like a
smartest motherfucker on earth, which he's not that smart? He's not that smart and not that lucky where he's dodging bullets like this.
Is he acting like an innocent man to you?
I mean, yeah, because innocent people look guilty all the time.
What is that? I don't even understand what that means.
Look guilty all the time.
Why would he early in his term? Why would he say stop talking about Epstein? Why would he say that?
Because look at this fucking bullshit with the 13-year-old. There's a lot of accusations in there because there's a lot of crazy people accusing him of shit. But no hard evidence. It's all accusations.
So who gets if everybody takes his advice and stops talking about this? How do the girls ever get justice?
Well, the FBI, if they have enough evidence, they'll go after the people. You guys think talking about it is going to give them justice? Keeping it like, in the forefront, but we need evidence. We can't just arrest people.
No, you absolutely.
Like, even the people that got arrested overseas, like the Prince Andrews and shit, he didn't get arrested for the Epstein files. He got arrested for sharing fucking bank statements or some bullshit. He shared trade secrets with Epstein. That's the reason he got arrested for. He didn't get arrested for, SA or anything like that. Because they have proof of him sending Epstein fucking inside information, and they were able to arrest him. But we don't have any.
So you think Trump did it? So you think Trump saying stop talking about Epstein was a good thing then?
No, it's not a good thing. It's like he knew it was going to be Russia number 2. It's going to be just like the Russian collusion.
Well, MAGA.
Did you not remember? Did you forget the Russian collusion?
As far as I'm concerned, even the Russian collusion thing turned out to be as what is his name? Mueller said. If I could convict Trump, I would have. There's not enough there to convict him. But if I could exonerate him, I would do that. He said there's not enough to convict him, and there's not enough to say he's innocent either. So I don't know about the collusion thing.
Tim, that's why we have the justice system the way it is. Because, if you want to go after someone, there's always shit that's going to make them look guilty. If that's the case, we'll be arresting half the country.
I didn't hear you saying this when Trump went after Fonnie Willis and James Comey and all of them. Wasn't he kind of doing the same thing?
No, he had proof.
Right. None of them got charged. None of them has gotten charged. Same thing with the election. He had proof of that too, right?
Well, the election, not yet. Hopefully he will soon, since he seems to be raiding all the... And I gave you, I don't know if you remember this, a year ago, I gave you 4 places where the cheating could have happened. And he's raided every one of those places. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, you already know MAGA,
whatever in AZ.
Yeah, MAGA, you already know my opinion on that. But once he was on record,
it looks like they haven't forgotten, and he's investigating it.
Yeah, but you
keep saying he's collecting the fucking.
No, that ain't what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
The next election.
That's not what I'm saying.
Last year's shit to defraud next year.
That ain't what I'm saying.
Last year's shit to prove that there was fraud.
That ain't what I'm saying. When he went on record. When Biden was winning temporarily in North Carolina, and he went on record saying that there was widespread fraud in North Carolina, and then toward the end, hold on, let me finish the point. Let me finish the point.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Well,
it doesn't count the votes.
But I want to finish the point because you just rambling on. You're just rambling on though. You're saying things and then you don't want to
count the votes.
Well, as I'm saying.
Does Mike Pence count the votes? Does his daughter count the votes?
That ain't got nothing. You're interrupting me to you're interrupting me to say stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. Nothing at all.
Question. Do any of them count the votes?
That ain't their job to count the votes.
Exactly. So why are they saying who won and who lost?
You didn't hear what I was about to say. You just went somewhere else. Trump is on record saying that there was widespread fraud in North Carolina when Biden was up in that state. Trump ended up winning North Carolina. Once he got their electoral college votes, he never complained about the fraud again. So the point is, if you're investigating fraud, why didn't you investigate North Carolina? You claimed there was cheating there.
We've had this conversation 1,000 times. You know the difference, right, between North Carolina and Georgia and Arizona?
Why you didn't investigate the fraud there?
It wasn't a close call.
How do you know?
Fraud only matters when it's a 1-point game. How many times have I told you that? Fraud only matters.
He said widespread fraud. It don't need to be close if it's widespread.
If it's not a 1-point game, who gives?
No, that ain't true. You're making up stuff. He said widespread fraud. You don't know. That could be millions of people. You don't know.
Okay, even you guys said that the fraud doesn't matter unless it affected the fucking election.
He don't give a shit what we say.
The election, it has to be a close election.
Yeah, you're making up things.
It was a 1-point game in Arizona. It was a 2-point game in Pennsylvania. And a 1-point game in Wisconsin. It was a 1-point game in all those places.
You're making up. You're making up. You're making up shit. As far as I'm concerned, no, you're making up shit. No, that is not the measure for looking into fraud. Well, as long as it's not closed, we'll just let that state cheat. That ain't how it works. That ain't how it works.
Attitude of the Democrats when we were still fighting them around January 6th.
As far as I'm concerned,
exactly what I've been hearing.
If you are on record saying that there was cheating in a state and you didn't investigate that state, we don't know if you won or not. We don't know if you won.
If you're Biden and you won by 1 point, would you investigate the cheating and prove that you lost by a point?
If you are a president and you want a free and fair election and you know that there's cheating in the state, well, because it was not a close election, we're going to just let the cheating there be. We're not going to check into that.
So you're going to prove that you lost?
No, you got to.
won by 1 point.
No, I want you to prove. I want you to look into the fraud that you told us was happening. You don't get to skip that because you won the state.
Biden was president, and Biden won by 1 point. So why would he look into the fraud to prove that he lost?
Because Biden didn't. No,
that he lost.
If you say there's fraud, you look into everywhere. I don't care if you won by a landslide in that state. If you said it's fraud there, show us what you're talking about.
Tim, that's just stupid. If I win,
then why bring it up? Then why bring it up?
I care about 1 point discrepancy.
Yeah,
I only care if it's a close game. Period.
That ain't how a president. If a president that wants free and fair elections should care about all fraud, not just the fraud that works against them.
Look, there was a ton of fraud in California. No one gave a fuck because California is not a close fucking election. I remember an article about this guy that signed up a bunch of homeless people to fucking vote in California. Anyway, let's stop talking about election because you're gonna get the fucking live.
No.
Every time we talk about election,
you just have me shocked that you're suggesting that a president should know about fraud and do nothing about it because the election wasn't close in that state. That's insane.
Don't do anything about it. He was gone in 2 weeks.
He's back. He's here now. Do something about it now. He's back.
Yes. He's looking at the fucking fraud in all the places that was a 1 point game.
So the places that it's a 5 point game, you're going to ignore those?
Well, he's trying to stop it there by fucking passing all.
No. What about the fraud? Though I don't want to hear about new laws. What about the fraud? You're going and calling for the polling places in Arizona and Georgia. You said it's fraud in South Carolina. Why don't you have the feds there?
Because no one gives a fuck. The left doesn't give a fuck.
No, everybody gives a fuck.
What's he gonna prove? If he finds a little bit of fraud, but you find out that the election is still the same, doesn't change anything.
You really make Trump look bad. You really make him look bad by saying it's okay.
Common sense.
Yeah, what you're basically saying is as long as the fraud works in his favor, we're okay with it. That's what you're saying.
No. Yes. Doesn't affect the winner. As long as the winner is still the same, it doesn't matter. So if the winner wins by 10 points and you're worried about 2 point fraud, who gives a fuck?
What about all the other? Wait, MAGA, you understand that when we vote, we don't just vote for the president. We vote for every damn thing from senators all the way to librarians. You don't know if those elections wasn't close.
Then the senators have to look into their.
No, why don't the guy that claimed the fraud was happening look into it? He's the only one that's been doing that.
Because he wasn't president.
He's president now. Why isn't he doing it?
Well, he cares more about the
ones that he cares about the ones that he only cares about the ones he think didn't work in his favor is what you're trying to say. He's never going to look into it.
He could find Republican fraud. What if he finds Republican fraud? And
ever since that the election's been over, ever since he won North Carolina, he's never, out of all of the 6 years or so, he ain't never mentioned that state one damn time. Not once.
I don't even think it's a contested state. I don't even remember.
He said it's fraud there.
About South Carolina.
He said it was fraud there.
Well, it's not a contested state. Is it a contested state? Is it a swing state?
So in other words, certain things have to happen for you to care about the fraud.
If it's a 1 point game, yes. It's the same with same in a basketball or a football game. No. If you get a bad call, a bad ref, I'm only going to give a fuck if it's a close game. But if my team loses by 10 or wins by 10, who gives a fuck if there was fraud?
Here's the problem with what you're saying. If you ignore fraud when the game ain't close and leave the same refs in there, next time when the game is close, you may have a major fucking problem on your hands because you didn't address it last time.
You change the rules. That's why the NBA.
No, you don't change the rules. You change the ref. You don't change the rules. You change the ref. You go pursue the fraud you were talking about. You don't change the rules.
That too. If you could do that too. But also change the rules. Where in the NBA they changed the rules where you could use a timeout to review any play you like.
No.
We need something like that in politics where you could use a
I
time
cannot
out,
believe
something.
you're trying to come up with excuses for why it's okay for a president to know
No,
fraud
I'm trying to
exists
come up with
and do.
ways to
No,
stop
you
this
are
from
literally
happening.
saying there are certain things that can happen where a president can claim fraud exists and it's okay for him to do nothing about it, not look into it or anything.
First of all, I've never in my life brought up anything fucking Trump claimed. I don't go off Trump's claims. I go off facts on the fucking ground. I've never come up on this live and told you, oh, because Trump said this, I believe him. I've never said those words. I always have my own fucking receipts and my own fucking perspective.
You've done it the whole time we've been talking.
Against me?
You've done it the whole. Listen, the only reason we're talking about the 2020 election is because of what Trump claimed. What the hell are you talking about? That's the only reason that's coming up.
Fraud there. Everybody that watched that election thinks there's fraud there.
Because Trump said it. Yes, because the only reason they think it was fraud is because Trump said it. That's where all this came from. It's Trump.
You're wrong. You keep doing this to MAGA. MAGA's not 100% like that. We saw the fraud first. Fucking Trump fucking agreed with us.
Bullshit.
I saw the fraud that night with my own fucking eyes. I did the fucking math. Saw that Biden was doing better than Obama. And I was like, why is Biden doing better than Obama and Hillary? He sucks. Why is he doing so well? And then I find out that he won by 1 point.
I think you're crazy.
By 1 point, that's suspicious.
In the comments, Evil B Babu says, you really need to ask MAGA Reacts, who is he sleeping with? And it says, is he sleeping with Hegseth or Trump? Do you got any gay lovers or something we need to know about?
No, I don't. I just left the shooting range with a very beautiful date, actually. I was actually having a good time until I put this live on. I was like, nothing better than shoot. I feel like such a redneck.
Well, we're always happy. Listen, we're always happy to have you come through.
And she's fucking Spanish.
Okay, well, I'll let you get on your way, but we're always happy to have you come through. We don't agree on shit, but you're always welcome back.
Come on, Tim. It's a 1 point game.
That's
You're
stupid.
gonna count every fucking thing.
Stupid,
You gotta make sure there's no fraud.
Listen, people, with so much sport, just using your example, with so much sports betting going on all over the country, where people betting on shots and shit, you don't ignore a bad call. I don't care how far apart the game is. You don't let somebody knowingly make a bad call and just ignore it. People still have stuff riding on it. Just like I told you in the national election. Just because the presidential election ain't close don't mean some congressperson or some librarian or somebody else, a city councilman, didn't lose because you ignored that fraud. There's other shit going on. You don't just you're painting Trump out to be a narcissist. You're making it clear he's a narcissist. He don't give a damn about nobody else in that election but himself.
No,
I gotta go.
The thing that sucks, listen, one last thing. The thing that sucks is the winner, the one that did the fraud and won, is the one is in charge of fucking finding out about the fraud.
Yeah.
Because the winner won, he cheated and won. He's not gonna look into the fraud.
That he don't care about fraud. He just wants to win. I gotta go. And I've said that many times on the show, is that if you only care about fraud that affects you and not fraud that helps you, then you're not for free and fair elections. You just are interested in winning. That's all it is. And that happened with Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania made COVID changes to the election to allow mail-in voting or something like that. State of Texas, on behalf of Trump, sued the state of Pennsylvania, claiming that they made changes that went against the Supreme Court or something like that. And at the time, the governor of Montana came forward and said, we made the same changes they did in Pennsylvania, but because Trump won here, we're not in the lawsuit. Why are we not in that lawsuit? Trump administration had no answer for that. Like, we made the same changes they did in Pennsylvania. He won here, and they're not suing us. If what they did in Pennsylvania is wrong, then you should be suing us, trying to overturn his victory here too. That's exactly what I was telling my last callers, that look at where Trump is going. He went to Georgia, he went to Atlanta. He went to Arizona, he went to Phoenix. He went to Michigan, he went to Detroit. He went to Wisconsin, he went to Milwaukee. You telling me the rest of that whole state was honest? Only the one or two Democratic counties, that's all the cheating happened there. The whole, however they cheated. Let's say the Democrats cheated their ass off in the 2020 election. You're telling me that there was a way you could cheat in that election and not a single Republican out of 70 some odd million folks discovered that and used it? You telling me that Republicans are 100% honest, tens of millions of them, all of them are honest. Only fraudulent Americans are Democrats. So the statistical probability of that would have to be up there with the lotto. So even if the Democrats cheated, you have to come up with some legitimate reason why not one Republican. You got people who don't plead guilty to being fake electors. You don't hear Trump say nothing about that. They're Republicans. They're actually Republicans. He said nothing about that. So the idea that only Democrats cheat, it is a tough pill to swallow. Mac, are you trying to get back up here? I saw the galaxy. You let me know, but yeah, here's my opinion on this. If Trump believed the 2020 election was fraudulent, what he should have did is ordered a widespread investigation of all 50 states. Find me whatever cheating you can find. I don't give a fuck if it's a Democrat or Republican, independent. This is what you tell Attorney General Jim Barr at the time, who was the guy that was responsible. Find me whatever you can find, and I'm going to request that it's a do-over because I found all this fraud. Democrats, Republicans, there's a lot of people that were cheating. This was not held properly. We need to do this again. And then fight for the Supreme Court, and hopefully they give you that. But when you're deliberately ignoring Republican areas and you're only going to Democrat areas, it becomes pretty clear what you're trying to do. You're not, like I mentioned with the North Carolina thing, you don't give a shit about fraud. You just want to win. If I can show you fraud that happened in the states you won in, you don't even want to hear about it. Then you don't care about free and fair elections. You just want to win. Like I mentioned the Pennsylvania versus Montana lawsuit thing. You look at Dinesh D'Souza. I've seen 2000 Mules a half dozen times. They did the same thing Trump did. They only went to Democratic areas. Ain't nothing happening in Savannah, Georgia. Just all innocent people, huh? You didn't decide to go to, upstate Arizona and look at any of those Republican areas. No investigations even went there. We only investigating in Democratic areas. Well, then that's where if you're going to find any fraud, it's going to be 100% Democrat because you're just ignoring all the Republicans. That has to be explained away, and they can't do that. Evil Babu says MAGA Reacts needs to have what the hell? MAGA Reacts needs to go have diarrhea, Tim. Bring me up also that people don't forget the lights up. Also prescribe to the damn channel. See you in the next one. Thank you, Evil. Appreciate that. Real quick.
Was that for me?
No, that was not for you, Alexa. I didn't even call your name out. I'll give you a few minutes. Okay. What am I getting wrong?
Let me explain to you why the difference between Fulton County and Savannah.
I'll just be over here, ready when you need
Alexa, stop.
What the hell's that noise?
Alexa,
I hear you.
she's talking to me. Go ahead. What were you saying?
All right, let me explain to you the difference between why we're looking at Fulton County and we don't give a fuck about like other small counties in Georgia. Most red counties are so fucking small.
And
you could fucking cheat. You could change every Democrat vote to Republican, and it wouldn't even affect the fucking election.
And
like you would have to cheat in 10 Republican places to do the same damage as Fulton County by itself.
But
you would have to flip the entire votes of 10 Republican counties to match Fulton County. So the Democrats only have to cheat in one spot, Fulton County. Republicans have to go to 10 different places, do 10 different conspiracies with 10 different groups of people to cheat in 10 different spots to match what you could do in one fucking Democrat county. So it's just math.
Okay.
It's just math.
Okay, but you're ignoring what I just said about the fact that we don't. You're not. Okay, you do want to hear the other side of this. You're ignoring what I just said. You're painting Trump out to be a narcissist where I don't give a shit about any of the down ballot races. I only care about mine. Even in them small counties, they still have people running for office that's getting cheated. So you can't just ignore all. So you can have a country full of fraud. Hold on, you're making it sound like we're okay with accepting a country that may be full of fraud, long as the presidential election is fair. I mean, those little counties, you could be costing city councilmen and librarians their elections all over the damn place doing that.
I'm answering the part where you kept asking, why do they not give a fuck about red counties? Because you would need to cheat in 10 of them. And if you cheat in 10 places, I don't care who you are, you're going to get caught. If you only have to cheat in one, it's very easy, and it's only one place full of fucking way more votes than 10 Republican places. places.
Yeah.
Because you keep bringing that up. Why do they not look at all the red counties? Why don't they look at the red counties? The red counties have like very little votes, and you have to cheat.
And that to me, you're making it sound like small people don't count. I mean,
no, they count. They count. It's just very hard to cheat because you have to cheat in 10 different places.
You know,
it's like you could rob one bank or 10 houses. You would have to. You're gonna get caught robbing 10 houses.
Let me say it to you like this. Let's say me and you run against each other, and you beat me by 2 million votes, a landslide. But you beat me by 2 million votes, but in reality, you should have beat me by 1,900,000. 100,000 people cheated. You still would have won by a landslide even if they didn't cheat. Do we ignore that 100,000 because it's not close?
Honestly, yes, but that's not what I came up here to talk about.
That's insane. That's insane. If you want a free and fair election, you don't ignore anybody.
I'm talking about that one specific thing. Why can't you cheat by going to all the red counties? I mean, if you go to 10 places and try to rob 10 people, one of them is going to be a good witness for the fucking prosecutor. Versus robbing one person that's very rich, which is Fulton County, you're going to get away with it. I mean, what's more likely to get you caught? Robbing 10 people with $100?
I don't understand it. Like I said, your logic only concerns yourself with the presidential election. You're talking congressmen. What the small cheating you're talking about that we shouldn't worry about, that could affect congressional races. That actually could affect that.
Well, to be honest, the congressional races didn't match the presidential races. Republicans won where Trump lost. That's another sign of cheating.
No, it ain't.
Been the same.
No, it's not. That just shows you that they liked their Republicans, but they didn't like Trump. And that's likely to happen again, by the way. That's likely to happen in the next national election where they may like their Republican congressman or senator, but they don't like him at the national election.
The numbers were the same. I mean, the reason I thought there was fraud had to do a lot with math. And the only part I came to fix, the only thing that you kept saying wrong is why can't why are we not worried about all the red places? Because you have to cheat in 10 of them.
That doesn't, then you go, I don't, look. As far as I'm concerned, if you know for certain that 5 people cheated in the election, even if 10 million people voted, you're supposed to, as a president, try to acknowledge those 5. You don't ignore that.
That's the other problem. You never know for certain. You never know for
certain.
Then
why is he saying there was widespread fraud?
He was just guessing. I don't go off what he said. I could say that to you 1,000 times. I never go off what he said. I was looking at the math. I was looking at the percentage of Biden votes versus the percentage of Obama votes and the Hillary votes. I mean, he outperformed Obama in 2008. Then I look at population changes, and the population of Georgia didn't really change. It's about the same. So
the president of the United States saying widespread fraud was happening, he was just guessing.
I don't give a fuck what Trump said. I'm trying to throw math and logic. Why it's like the way it is.
MAGA.
You only have to cheat.
People are throwing their fucking lives away based on what Trump. January 6th was only 2 months after the election. It was still being investigated. The only reason they went. Wait, hold on. The only reason they went in there and acted like that on January 6th, because the Trump administration was still investigating whether or not the election was stolen. So those people who did that on January 6th, they did that solely based on what Trump was saying. They didn't have no proof that quick.
They weren't investigating. Bill Barr stopped.
No, he didn't.
Bill Barr stopped.
Trump was still president. Trump still had 2 weeks of presidency left.
But guess what? Bill Barr stopped looking into it 2 weeks before January 6th and 2 weeks after the election.
So the last 2 weeks, they didn't do nothing. No investigating or nothing.
Everybody in the Department of Justice threatened to quit.
No,
this is a fucking on record. No. Bill Barr threatened to quit, and everybody threatened to quit.
Trump was still looking into the. Trump was still looking at
election in 2 months, in a month and a half.
You're wrong. Trump was still looking into the election until the day he left office. He didn't leave the last 2 weeks sitting around doing nothing. He was looking into that election the whole time.
What power does Trump has? It has to be the DOJ or the FBI. and his DOJ quit on him. His DOJ came in 2 weeks after the election.
They still had
we
court
didn't find any
cases.
proof, we're done.
They still
This
had.
is all on record,
They
Tim.
still had.
Bill Barr quit.
You know, the idea that you're telling me the Trump administration did absolutely nothing
Tim,
the last 2 weeks is wrong.
Is Bill Barr in charge of the DOJ? Was Bill Barr?
He's not the only person there, though. He's not the only guy.
He's top of the chain. He's the fucking blockage between Trump and everybody below him. Now, did he quit 2 weeks before January 6th? Did he quit or didn't he quit?
Hey,
Isn't that public?
yeah, but
knowledge, or
so
am I
he
making it
quit
up?
in
Did
he quit in the
or no?
justice. So he quit and the whole Justice Department just stopped.
No, they just stopped looking into election.
That's not
fraud.
true. That is not true.
Find me any evidence that anyone after the first 2 weeks. Find me any, even those first 2 weeks. I don't think they did shit those 2 weeks. Find me any evidence that they looked into the election. Actually looking into the election. Going to court is not looking into the election.
Going to court is arguing in favor of trying to say you won. That is part of it.
Tim, you have to any criminal case, any case whatsoever, you have to investigate for at least a year, or even you have to investigate first. You don't just go to court without investigating.
As you just said
even
about
civil cases, you have to investigate and hire a PI. There was no investigation. There was no time for an investigation.
Why would I just asked you a few minutes ago about Trump in North Carolina? You said he just thought he was just making it up. That's why they didn't investigate.
What he was doing. I don't give a fuck what he was doing.
Well, but wait a minute. Hold on. You're wondering why nobody did anything and why they didn't investigate, while admitting the guy making the claims is just making shit up. That's why they didn't investigate.
The country was screaming fraud. That's enough to look into this fucking case.
But when I asked you about North Carolina,
and it was a weird COVID election.
But when I asked you about screaming fraud, in North Carolina, you suddenly say he was just guessing. But then these other states, he's telling the truth.
I'm talking about the people. The people were screaming fraud because we went to sleep and we were ahead and woke up and we were behind and they changed the rules and the bathroom was flooded and all this shit was happening and we were all what the fuck is going on? And we just...
This makes no sense at all.
They spent 2 years on Russian collusion, Tim. They barely...
This ain't got nothing to do with Russian collusion. This is them making up stories about the election.
2 years on Russian collusion. How much did they spend on the election? How much time do you think they spent on that election? Even if Trump spent his entire remainder of 2 months on this election, it's not enough time. Which I don't think he did because his DOJ quit on him.
Why do you think his DOJ... Not only did he quit, he referred to
him.
What?
They don't like him and they wanted him gone.
Bullshit. Why the hell would his DOJ not like him? You're talking about Attorney General Barr. One damn thing. In this book, he says Trump's claims were bullshit. Why would that man say that?
They wanted him gone.
Why? No, maybe they... It's the same thing with Mike Pence. Everybody that don't agree with Trump had it in for him. No, maybe they just think he was on some shit. They didn't have to have it in for him. Mike Pence said he lost too.
Listen, it's like all those football games and basketball games where you could see the fucking cheating on video.
Right, and nobody else can.
Why don't they go back and fix all those games and fix all the cheating in all those games?
Why
didn't they just go with the ref's call and just move on?
All right, well, I got to move it on, but you do realize Mike Pence would have won a second term. Mike Pence would have won a second term. There's no reason in hell for him not to lie and say he didn't win if he thought he won. Mike Pence would have got a second term. So why did he say Trump lost?
Trump, again, he didn't count the votes. None of those people you could bring
Doesn't matter. He ain't seen none of the evidence that Trump is claiming he saw.
Listen, Mike Pence cares about the system appearing to be right than actually being right. They'd rather move on and put the dirt under the carpet than fucking cleaning the place up.
What about the recounts?
The recounts are not going to fix anything. They're not looking. You have to look into the votes. You have to look at the votes, make sure the people are alive, make sure the people actually voted. You actually have to investigate. Recounting, how does recounting change anything?
Because you gotta...
The results are correct.
Okay, well...
Make sure
but you gotta...
For fraud. Recount doesn't catch fraud.
For folks to go looking in every vote and making sure people are alive and stuff, you gotta have a reason to believe they're dead. Where is that coming from?
Look, you just have to look at the demographics. You have to look at people's age.
There's no reason to look into it that deep because nothing suggested that stuff was happening.
There was a reason because half the world, change of rules, half the world thought there was fraud.
Thoughts.
The fuck, it was a close point election. It was a 1-point game. I just gave you like 20 reasons why, not 20, but I give you a lot of good reasons. It was a close game. The whole world thought it was fraudulent. Just to reassure people that our election are fair would have been worth it. Just to make people feel better.
And then when he ran nothing came out of that. And then when he ran in 2024 and beat Biden, the cheating just stopped? All the cheaters just decided they were not going to do it now?
No, it wasn't a close game. It only matters when it's a close game. It only matters in 2000.
So in other words, there was probably still a whole bunch of cheating, but because it wasn't close, we're going to ignore it.
That's how the system works.
That ain't how the system works.
That's exactly how the system works. That's exactly what they said to us the day after January 6th.
All right, I got to go. I gave you your 10. I gave you your 10. Thanks for the galaxy. I got to move on. I got to move on. Look, as far as I'm concerned, and I said this after our conversation the first time, if you as a president of the United States know there is cheating, you have an obligation to try to have something done about that. Well, it wasn't a close election, so we go, that's cutting corners. I mean, because as I stated before, if you ignore some cheating, then that cheating is likely to happen in the next election, and you don't have any guarantee it may not be close then. Just like when he used the example on the basketball court, well, if the score ain't close, then you can ignore a bad call. You leave a bad ref on the field, in the next game that is close, he's going to be a problem. You got to get rid of that. You don't leave that out there. Trump claims that there was fraud in states that he won. Once he won the states, he suddenly don't care about the fraud anymore. And we're supposed to accept that because the election wasn't close. That sounds like a president that don't give a shit about fraud. See, you were giving him points for the only one acknowledging. I don't get that. And that's my last call as well. I don't care about what Trump says. If the president is going around saying things that you can't even trust to be true about the election, then his whole claim lacks credibility. He may be lying about everything. Why would he say there's fraud if it's not there? Somebody explain that to me. Super evil. Good evening. Welcome to the. He's trying to pass he is trying to pass new laws based on accusations. Super evil. Good evening.
Man, what the hell is going on, dude? MAGA reacts, man, shit.
Do you agree with him?
Fuck no, man, please. Man, what the hell was all that shit, man? Talking about, I don't give a fuck, man. Shit, man. Get your ass out of here, man, please.
I mean, listen, there are some folks that do agree with him. I've talked to him. There are people that do agree with that. That you should, if it's fraud, but the election wasn't closed, it's okay to ignore that fraud. He's not the only one I've heard say that.
No, but the thing is, though, he wants to sit there and be stupid and be like, well, I don't care. Trump is right. Man, shut the hell up. Trump is not always right.
No problem.
Trump is the biggest fraud that you could ever see in this entire world.
Damn.
His administration is sick, twisted, and pure evil. Pure evil.
But wait a minute. Why do you say his administration is evil? That's a strong claim.
Look at what is happening. He went into this war, and he has Benjamin
Netanyahu.
Crocodile, whatever. And he has his voice in his head, like, so much, man. Like,
yeah, but you said evil. What has Trump done to make you suggest that he is evil?
Because this administration is like evil. Now, if you think
evil, how? Wait, that's a strong accusation. What has he done to indicate he's evil?
Trump is getting us into this war. He is causing gas prices to go up high, and to piggyback off of what Mike was saying earlier, did you even know that Pam Bondi is getting death threats right now?
Mike, look, anybody that is a what is her job? Attorney general, whatever she is. Yeah, head of the Department of Justice. I'm assuming that Eric Holder for Obama, they all going to get. I mean, you're prosecuting people. They all getting death threats. That's kind of par for the course. Yeah, I'm sure she is getting death threats. Marco Rubio's getting them. JD Vance. I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah, and this is why I said that this administration is pure evil. They are ruining America. Trump is not making America great. There is nothing great about him. The only thing that is great about Trump, I'm hoping that he can rip off his face and then he can turn himself into a fucking ass alien.
What the hell? In the comments, Jay Sid says Netanyahu's real last name is Milkowski. I've never heard.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, that is absolutely.
So where the hell Netanyahu come from?
Some
Milkowski.
Name? Maybe.
I've never heard that before. My question is, why is the Democrat Party so scared of voter ID? Because that's not the case. Hold on a second. Yeah, the voter ID. Listen, there is a lot of Americans that are carrying IDs that will work if you need to buy cigarettes, you need to buy alcohol, you get stopped by the police. Those IDs would work for those situations and it would not allow you to vote. Remember before we had Real ID? Real ID just happened, a year or so ago? If you still have an ID before the Real ID, that ID works as a legitimate ID for everything, but you can't vote with it. So yeah, what they're requesting to vote is greater than just an ID. So they're not being honest with it is the problem. That's where the Dems are complaining. They're not being honest about what they're requiring. But go ahead.
No. It is completely right. That is actually the statement that is on hand. They are making things so hard though. If you want to vote, you actually got to show your birth certificate,
or a passport. Yeah. If you don't have a real ID, and there are a lot of Americans that have driver's license and state IDs that don't have the real star on it. If you don't have that ID is good to use throughout society, but that ID would not allow you to vote. So there's more to it than what they're telling you.
Yeah, and voting is actually going to be extremely hard now. Very, very.
I don't think it'll be extremely hard. I think it's just it's a hurdle because if you don't, if you got to present your birth certificate or you got to get a passport or whatever, because it's citizenship. It's not just ID. They're lying when they say it's just voter ID. It's citizenship and proving that you're a citizen versus proving your identity are not the same. But most Americans can probably negotiate the hurdle, but there's going to be some cost. It's going to take some time. I mean, it is going to be a hurdle.
Yeah, and then also that they made it to the point where you got to stand in line. Their true purpose is to get you mad and to actually make you leave. They don't want you actually there. They just made it harder.
My opinion is exactly that. Because I think that the Save America Act that Trump is passing, I think that's going to prevent more legitimate Americans from voting. Then it's going to stop this perception that you're not going to have a lot of illegal aliens voting anyway. No. But I think it's going to lead to more people who legitimately could have voted not voting. Then it's going to prevent illegal immigrants from voting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I am not a fan of this whole Save America Act, but I don't know. It is just hard.
And I think it'll be similar to when they used to have literacy tests and poll taxes back, the Jim Crow era, where they say it's for everybody, but what they do is they give a literacy test out, and only the people that they want to not vote are the ones they really grade to test. The people that they want to vote, they'll just pass them through. So I think that this is what's going to happen with this, is that in Republican areas, they whatever you hand them will be good enough to prove citizenship. They're not really looking at it. In Democrat areas, you may hearing people saying, well, they said my birth certificate is not legit or the seal was worn off. It's gonna be in Democrat areas.
Right. Yeah. And it's old, it is decrepit, and all of this other stuff. And then it actually goes back to what you were saying a while. It is a while back ago.
They're going to target certain areas. And in the comments, real quick, Pat Yeager says the race card doesn't work no more. Tim, has it ever worked? Has folks like yourself that's making that statement, have you ever accepted the race card? You wouldn't have accepted it from Martin Luther King. It's never worked.
Yeah, it is a race thing. Like, come on, man! Like, what? That is such a stupid ass.
It's never. You would have said the same thing 50 years ago. The race card don't work.
Yeah. It is a white man's world. Like it's real simple.
Yeah. Well, I don't. But let me say this. I don't think the Save America Act is solely based on race. It's based on going against Democrats. So I mean, you could be in an area that's a whole bunch of white liberals, like Minneapolis, for instance. We see what was happening with ICE up there. That was mostly white people, but it's a very Democrat area. So that an area like that, you're gonna have polling places where ICE or whatever the hell Steve Bannon is talking about, where they're really scrutinizing the documents. But then if you try to vote in Huntsville, Alabama, you're like, damn, this guy barely even looked at what I handed him. So that's the difference. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, like he barely made it.
Yeah, like in Democrat areas, they're going to be really scrutinized and checking seals and, well, the ink is off of this, so I'm not for sure. This is too wrinkled up to tell. In the Republican areas, everything's going to go right on through smoothly. That's how you do it.
And then they want to be, hey, can you put your fingerprint here?
Yeah. And I see in the comments, the same guy asked me, am I oppressed? No, I don't believe I'm oppressed at all. No, I didn't say I was. You're the one that took it to race. I didn't say nothing about it being race. You took it there. But I do believe that the Save America Act is designed to curtail liberal votes. Just like Trump, with the 2020 election, all of his investigations are done in Democrat areas. He's not investigating anything happening in Republican areas. The Save America Act is going to be the same way, where all of the scrutiny for your passports and birth certificates and documents you hand in, the heavy scrutiny of those documents is going to be in Democrat areas.
Tim, at the end of the day, it is all going to come down to where it is all about race. They only want mostly Republican white people to vote.
I don't think it's solely about race. Now, I mean, listen, Republicans are mostly white to begin with. That's just what it naturally is. But I don't think they're just going after. They're going after Democrats. They don't care if you're white, black, whatever. They're going after Democrats. You can be white and you're just as much of an enemy to the party as you would be if you were a black Democrat.
Yeah, it is a hard. Yeah, it's just that I have never imagined it going to this level where it is going to be extremely hard. Like, I thought that 2026, it was actually going to be at least more, or at least different, though. And this is why I was like, I think if Kamala was in office, we would not have this issue though.
Well, if Kamala Harris was in office, you certainly wouldn't have this voter act, but you would have the right saying that cheating. I mean, the right would be saying that the illegal immigrants are voting and dead. I mean, they would be making the same claims they're making now.
Yeah, and then it would say, are they gonna be, is this the new America Act where we're saving other people, saving the island people. It's just hard, though.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll just say it like this. We talk about the open borders under President Biden. 18 million, according to Trump, came in this country undocumented. We don't know who the hell they are, and they are allegedly voted in our elections. If you got tens of millions of illegal immigrants in this country, and many of them are voting in elections, show us some arrests. You ain't caught none of these people. You can't show me any of these illegal immigrants you caught and arrested doing. They all got away. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, like something is truly wrong. Are you like, is it like, how did you miss out on like really catching these, or how many people are you letting just walk away? Like, where's the...
Yeah, because I will say this. If the 2020 election was fraudulent, Trump was president during that election. Like, you guys, all these millions of people that were voting and dead, you didn't arrest anybody for this stuff. Like, all of them got away. You're saying that it was widespread fraud and they cheated for the Democrats, and you didn't catch any of them? That just makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, if it happened, fine. But you should be able to show us video or you should be able to show us still shots. Here's an illegal immigrant standing at a polling place. He has no business being here. Here he is standing in a polling place in Fulton County, Georgia. We arrested him, and you should have tons of those people.
Right. And also, the thing that really gets me is that Trump is still complaining about the 11,087 votes that he never really have gotten, and then he wants to be like, well, crooked Joe Biden. Like, man, shut up about Joe Biden. This is your fucking ass economy.
Are you suggesting that Trump may have Biden derangement syndrome?
He is gonna have that issue for as long as he will be in office, because he is always talking about it is crooked. Joe Biden this, Joe Biden that, and I'm like, look, come to grips. It is your economy. Your economy sucks now. We are not winning at anything. We are losing. Things are getting worse.
Well, MAGA thinks we're winning pretty good. I mean, MAGA is very optimistic about what's going on.
No. MAGA is not winning. It's because you have to really look at it. Some of these MAGA people work at the airport. The airport people are suffering right now. It's because half.
Well, they're blaming that on the radical left. The country is shut down partially. Trump is blaming that on the radical left.
Yeah, and people are standing in the airport for long hours. Yeah. Long hours. So, like, if they can just come to the grips about not trying to shoot people, killing people, and trying to get things back on track, but I don't even see that happening.
All right, well, I do got to move it on. I hopefully they end up opening, because I hate to hear any Americans working and not getting paid. But Trump is blaming that on the left. We'll take it at that. But Super Evil, thank you for coming through. Appreciate it.
Hey, I am. I want to say, hit me up after, because I want to support your show, like live, and then I also want to know, are you ever gonna go back to the rideshare type of the videos? Because
I've been considering, because you're not the only one asked about it. I may end up creating a separate channel, but I'll talk to you about that on the other side.
Yeah. All right, man.
Appreciate it. And I mean, like I said, a lot of this stuff would make sense if Trump was presenting proof. Certainly when it comes to the 2020 election. I mean, you're talking literally tens of thousands of people cheated. You should be able to present some evidence of that stuff. I mean, it's been, he served a whole term. I mean, he served the whole term. You should be able to give us some. You've been in office now over a year now. If that many people are cheating, you should be able to present something, some evidence somewhere. Now we got the Save America Act coming based on your accusations from losing the first time that you have not proven. Look, at the end of the day, I'm 100% behind only citizens being allowed to vote. I'm 100% behind requiring voters have an ID. I don't think there's any legitimate excuse for a full grown ass adult to say they can't get an ID. So I don't buy into this, minorities are too poor to afford a state ID or afford a driver's license, or they live too far away. That I don't agree with, because the elections are 2 years apart at the congressional level, 4 years apart at the presidential level. You can find, how much does it cost to get a state ID? $4 or $5. You got 2 years to come up with that, $10 or whatever it costs. So I do agree that you should have an ID to vote. However, the citizenship thing is different, because as I've been stating on the program many times, is that if you get pulled over and you handed the cop your driver's license, real ID or not, even if it's the one before the real ID that a lot of Americans still have, they could get on the radio and find out if you're a citizen within 10 minutes. They could find out without you, as long as they know who you are, they could find out if you're an American citizen within 10 minutes on that radio. There's no reason to make a citizen bring in all kinds of papers and documents. For folks who don't have all that shit, every county put in, you could put a sheriff in. A lot of voting places already have sheriffs walking around anyway. Somebody who has access to the database, some sworn officer that has access to the database. Hand that person your ID and they can find out real quickly whether you're a citizen or not, and let the person vote. You don't have to require the citizen go out and buy all these fucking documents and get stuff through the mail and get passports and shit, when you could go on the computer and find out if they're a citizen or not. I'm fine with it at that level. But when you start making people bring in documents and making shit cumbersome, then it looks like you're doing it for some kind of agenda or some kind of alternative purpose. It wouldn't take much if a person has an ID to prove if they're a citizen or not. Because you don't need all that stuff to get IDs for other stuff. There are ways to get, remember, you don't have to be a citizen to get an ID. I know, because I still have my Australian driver's license from years ago. I wasn't a citizen in Australia. The minute you get over there, you can get a license. As long as you got an American license, they will give you, I took a test or whatever, a quick test, and I was driving on the fucking other side of the car. So I wasn't even confident. I'm sitting in the passenger seat with a steering wheel on the left side of the street. I was kind of concerned myself. Like I went into, when I rented my first car, I told a Hertz guy, it was a Hertz dealership, give me as much insurance as you can give me on this car, because you may not see it again. And I learned how to drive on the other side of the street, on the other side of the car driving. But I still have that license to this day. So you can get a license without being a citizen. But they can look at my license, go on a computer and tell you're not a citizen. It's not that hard to do that. So I don't think you need to require citizens to bring in all kinds of paperwork. Here's my take on it. They should give you that shit for free. They should give it to you for free. I believe don't they give you, when you have a new baby, don't they give you, isn't the Social Security card or whatever free? You don't pay for that, do you? You get a Social Security card for a newborn, it's free, ain't it? Give that person something for free that indicates they're a U.S. citizen. Period. Just give it to them for free. And then when they go to vote or whatever, they already got it. So I'm okay. Bullshit, nothing's free. It is free. Give it to out of the taxpayer. You dial 911, they come out, they don't charge you, but yet you can't give somebody a fucking ID. You can dial 911 and tell them 10 motherfuckers are trying to kill you right now, and they'll send out enough cops to deal with 10 motherfuckers, and they don't charge you shit, but you can't give me an ID? Make that make sense. So you can give people some type of an ID that allows them to vote. It's as simple as that. You don't have to make them go through all those expenses and documents and shit. What is it? It's a piece of plastic with an image transfixed on it, maybe some press numbers or whatever. In bulk, that's only going to cost the government probably 5 cents or more to make those things. Give it to them for free. We spent enough money bombing Iraq. Hell, I would tell you, we probably spent enough money bombing those drug boats in Venezuela to hand everybody a piece of plastic saying they're an ID. Just those drug boats. That's all. I mean, like I said, these things are costing a nickel a piece if you're doing them in bulk. We blew up enough drug boats to give everybody some kind of free ID to show they're a citizen. You don't need to make them do all this shit. You're doing it intentional. You're doing it intentional. And I agree with you in the comments. William says, prove they're drug boats. We can't. We won't be able to ever do that. And I do, frankly, I believe that eventually there will be someone testifying before Congress after the Trump administration that will have to show proof that those are drug boats. That information came from somewhere. The State Department has to prove that they had some evidence suggesting there was drugs on those boats. That will come up. It ain't gonna happen under the Trump administration, but you're killing people. That will actually come up because we had a Navy admiral. I think it was 3-star or 4-star. He resigned over that shit down there in Venezuela. He quit. So he will be called in to testify for cert. He was an African-American guy. He'll absolutely be called. Why did you resign? He'll be called in to testify for that. So, yeah, they're going to have to prove that. That'll be maybe 2, 3, 4 years in the future or whatever, but that will happen. They will have to show proof of why they were doing that. You'll have a Democrat. Let's say the Democrats win in the midterms. Let's say they do a good job in the midterms, Senate and Congress. They're going to request that. They're going to request people. They're going to request congressional hearings from those folks involved in that. The people that pulled the trigger, the folks that were taking the surveillance and the images. We need to see proof. You have to have some kind of evidence out there. Pictures you took of this or something. Tips you got from somebody. They're going to have to prove that. Otherwise, that's murder. You're blowing up boats in international waters. That's a violation of somebody bringing up of the Geneva Convention. That's going to come up. Now, I will tell you this also. Let's say Trump issues some pardons, but because of what they did, there's Interpol warrants for them, international warrants for them. I don't know if he can't pardon his way out of that, can he? So you could have a Democratic administration say, fuck it. We can't charge you, but apparently you got warrants from Interpol. We're going to hand them over. I mean, I'm just speculating. I don't know how it works, but people are going to have to testify that they actually did have drugs on those boats. Right now, we just have to trust what came from the Trump administration. That ain't going to last very long once he's gone. They're going to have to prove that. See the comments. Kevin says, ass hat. And I see also Dandy says, you are a terrible person. I wish you would explain why. Let me know why. I'll read it out. Like I said, we don't block, ban, or censor. We're MAGA friendly. We believe in free speech. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body on this program. So if you favor free speech, you're in the right place. You can be critical of anyone, including yours truly. If you're watching on Instagram, Substack, or TikTok, follow the program. You happen to be watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. And my YouTube viewers, smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. See, Truth said, because the truth hurts. I'm just saying, Stick, the ruler. Good evening, Stick. No indictments or convictions came out of all of this fraudulent election claim, Tim. No, it didn't. No, it did not. Stick, good evening. Stick, are you there? Apparently, Stick is not there. But the question is, are we winning? Or is this spreading? That's what we were asking. I'll play a couple clips earlier. I do want you to hear these again because we got a little bit different audience here. But I'm going to tell you where this came from. This is President Trump a week ago. This came from President Trump a week ago. And I want you to take note. This is in regards to the UK because something happened over the last 24 hours that makes this look quite interesting.
President Trump on social media today criticizing the UK's response to getting involved in the Iran war, calling the United Kingdom our once great ally. Trump saying the UK is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. Trump then adding, we don't need them any longer, and we don't need people that join wars after we've already won. Earlier this
So you hear what he says. I want to read that again just because I think this is important for the point I'm about to make. But this is what came from Trump's Truth Social account. The United Kingdom, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. That's okay, Prime Minister Starmer. We don't need them any longer. But we will remember, we don't need people that join wars after we've already won. So he's being real critical of the Prime Minister of the UK, suggesting that you're sending your carriers, but you're sending them a day late and $1 short. That was a week ago he sent that on social media. Here's President Trump over the last 24 hours.
To send ships to the Strait of Hormuz. Writing in a post on Truth Social, he said, many countries, especially those who are affected by Iran's attempted closure of the Hormuz Strait, will be sending warships in conjunction with the United States of America to keep the strait open and safe. Hopefully China, France, Japan, South Korea, the UK and others that are affected by this artificial constraint will send ships to the area so that the Hormuz Strait will no longer be a threat from a nation that has been totally decapitated. The declaration coming as the US bombs.
Now, the obvious hypocrisy or issue at play here is you just told the UK, we don't need your shit now. You're joining a war that's already been won. Now you're telling them they need to send ships. I asked this early, but I want to ask this again because I got a different audience in here by way of yes or no in the comments. If you were the Prime Minister of the UK, after what he said, you're joining wars that are already won, we don't need your shit, and then a week later he's telling you we need your shit, would you send your shit? Yes or no in the comments. By way of yes or no, let me know. Would you send a ship after he did you like that on a national level? And now he's online saying, well, no, you need to send something. After him saying, they offered to send 2 carriers. And he released that horrible statement. We don't need somebody who sends, jumps in a war after we've already won. And now he's online saying this. Well, we do need some ships from Japan, France, the UK, and South Korea. This is why I'm asking folks. Are we winning or is this getting worse? Because if you're winning, you shouldn't be asking other folks to send their ships and put them in harm's way. But I want to continue along the lines of, are we winning or is it getting worse? Vladimir Zelensky of the Ukraine, once again, another statement released 24 hours or so. This is another fresh statement coming from Vladimir Zelensky.
Do you have intelligence or any information about this report that the Russians are providing Iran with intelligence, specifically providing Iran with intelligence on where American troops are, where American assets are, so that the Iranians can strike and kill Americans?
First of all, Russia gave drones already, these Shaheeds. They are using Iranian licenses, that they built and produced a lot of drones. They gave them. I have 100% facts that that Iranian regime used against American bases and against our Middle East and Middle East neighbors of Iran. They used these drones. We saw intelligence shared with us some details, and it was Russian details in these Iranian drones. That's the first. And the second point is my intelligence told me next that they think that they share information, intelligence with Iranian regime. They helped them. And also, my intelligence told me that they said if Europe and United States
Listen to
can
this.
help Ukraine with intelligence in this war, it means that Russia can help Iranian regime. This is their point of view on this. So it's a fact, and you see that it's not a big secret.
And we
intelligence?
talked about that before, that America has been helping the Ukraine in the Russia invades the Ukraine. America helps the Ukraine fight Russia. America invades Iran. It only makes sense that Russia would help Iran and repay the favor. I mean, we attacked somebody and you jumped on their side to help them fight us. Okay, well, when you attack somebody, I'm gonna jump on the side of your adversary and help them fight you. That would only make sense. So it's easy to believe what Zelensky is saying. Not to mention, Zelensky is still considered an ally, so to speak, of the United States. He really needs us. So when he's saying that Russia is sending Iran drones and intelligence, it's probably true. Now in the comments, I see Z2B True says that Zelensky, he's like the little boy in the Omen movie that became president. You can call him whatever. He's a fucking, this is what a patriot looks like. This motherfucker's on the battlefield. Disregard his looks, his size, whatever you want to think. You think Trump would be doing what this guy's doing if we were in their shoes, where we were a country that was greatly overpowered, fighting a superpower, and we were significantly weaker? You think Trump would be as courageous as this dude is? I don't need what did he say? I don't need a ride out of here. I need ammunition. This dude has been offered the ability to live abroad and be protected. He literally chose to stay behind with his countrymen and fight for his country. You think Trump would do that? So you can say whatever you want to say about him, but you want to talk about a patriot. This motherfucker is a patriot. This is a real patriot. So he's doing shit I wouldn't even be. I wouldn't likely be this patriotic my damn self. I mean, we've given him intelligence that Russia wants to assassinate him. And he's still staying behind, walking through war zones and shit. This dude is a patriot. Call him whatever you want, but don't forget to call him that. But I do want to continue on, in addition to Zelensky, because we're asking the question, are we winning this war, or is it getting worse? That's what we're asking.
Needed.
Sending 3 Navy warships and more than 2,000 Marines to the Middle East. What more are you hearing about that?
Diane, yes, we have new reporting that 2,200 Marines based in Japan will be transported across on 3 amphibious ships, which is pretty standard. It's called an amphibious ready group. And they normally patrol inside the Indo-Pacific area, which is Asia. But instead, they have been ordered and redirected towards the Middle East. What is important about this is that these are ground forces.
Why would you send thousands of ground forces if the war is already won? If it's already won, why are we doing this? Are we winning, or is it getting worse? That's what I'm asking you folks. Now, keep in mind, other nations are starting to get involved. I mean, Iran has struck every damn body. Now Trump is reaching out to every damn body. Iran has struck many of the neighbors in the Middle East, trying to get out the U.S. bases, U.S. embassies, et cetera, but they have killed some citizens in those countries. I think Bahrain had somebody get killed. They've struck in Kuwait. They're firing ordnance in all of these countries. And now President Trump is asking for China, France, UK, South Korea to send ships in the Strait of Hormuz as well. This could easily turn into a very, very big conflict. If France or UK or South Korea, any of these countries, put one of their ships in the Strait of Hormuz and Iran bombs that ship, then one of those countries now have a problem with Iran because maybe their sailors or countrymen got killed. Now Zelensky is already saying that Russia is helping Iran. So they're a proxy in this as well. So this is expanding, in my opinion. Now, I know Trump said that on a scale of 1 to 10, he'd give this a 15. I'm not seeing a 15. Maybe you guys are. I'm not seeing a justification of saying this is going that well when you're constantly not only sending in our reinforcements, but you're asking for other countries that you were just prior treating them like shit. Now you're asking them to send their ships. I don't see the 15. Scale of 1 to 10, it might be a 6. I don't see the 15. I see it expanding. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, North Korea has also been North Korea is also on the side of Iran. Yeah, they are in this. Somebody brought that up. They are too mentioning this. So I absolutely do not see this as a 15. And I don't know where Trump is getting it. But looking in the comments though, if you're asking other countries, you're not doing as well as you're saying. And I'll tell you this also. I'm sure some of you guys may have seen this on social media, TikTok, X, maybe YouTube. The information we're getting in terms of we're killing all sorts of Iranians and we only lost 13 people. How many of you think that information is accurate? How many of you guys think that we really only lost 13 people so far? With the 6 we just lost there, or was it 6 at the refueling tanker? What is that? A KC-135 that went down. How many of you folks believe that that number they're giving us, only 13 people have been lost so far, is accurate? What about the casualty rates? Some people are getting injured as well. They're not all dying. Because remember Iran, we had a skirmish with them during our first term where they fired something in retaliation, concussion, and it fucked up the head of a lot of troops. And Trump was saying they just had headaches. When it turned out they had long-lasting damage, eardrums blown out and all kinds of stuff. Trump was just downplaying and saying they had a headache. So I do want to get you to understand that there is a possibility. We've talked tonight about the 2020 election and Trump giving numbers on that. Him saying it's a 15, scale of 1 to 10. Trump numbers can be an issue at times. So when they're telling you that only 13 people have perished, or when they're telling you how much damage we've done in Iran, some would even argue the notion that Iranians have killed 60,000 protesters or whatever the Trump administration is saying. Understand those numbers may not be accurate. Those numbers may be skewed to fit an agenda. Just understand that. If we want to justify going into Iraq, tell those bleeding heart liberals we're liberating people. Not a few. Tell them it's a lot of them. Tell them they're mistreating a lot of them. That'll get the blue-haired liberals on your side. You want to get the tree huggers on your side? Tell them they're killing a lot of their citizens. No, not 10,000. No, knock it up. Tell them it's a lot. There's no way you can prove it otherwise. Can you really prove otherwise? So understand those numbers may or may not be accurate. That's all I'm saying. It should be noted, none of our allies thought Iran needed to be attacked right away. Why is that? If that is the world's largest state-sponsored terrorist organization, why is there no NATO member nation saying, yeah, this needed to be done? Notice they didn't get involved in the beginning. I mean, you even hear Trump saying that the UK, our greatest ally, even according to his own post, our greatest ally, as he said, they didn't even want to jump in the beginning. If Iran is such a danger, why is that? The United Kingdom, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers. Why didn't they do it in the beginning? If that nation is such a threat to everybody. If they're going to get nuclear weapons and just start blowing everybody up on the planet. Why is, and I do agree with that also, Mike. The European theater is closer to Iran than the United States is. Yet we're sailing thousands of miles to go deal with them. And the people right next door seem to be okay. How does that make sense? Is it possible that the United States is visualizing or seeing a threat that may not be one? That may look. I've said this many times. The idea that Iran is going to successfully create a nuclear weapon, and in its infancy, where they're just getting knowledge of the technology, decide to take on a country that has over 5,000, I think we have 5,000 nuclear weapons, because the treaty between the U.S. and Russia is no longer even in play anymore. So we can make as many as we want now. This nation that has had atomic experience dating back to World War II, you're going to come up with your first bomb and you're going to attack them with it? Does that make sense? That's like somebody going out and buying a pistol on our first day and deciding to get into a gunfight with a marksman. Does that make sense? We got 5,000 weapons. They're going to, because Trump, I'm only bringing this up because Trump stated that if he had not attacked Iran, they would have had a nuclear bomb by now and they would have used it on us. Does that make sense? They just learned how to come up with this technology, and they're going to take on a country that has 5,000 of these things. This is what he's telling us. In the comments, China is likely to gain strategic benefits from the Iran conflict primarily by leveraging the distraction of the U.S. Yeah, I actually saw a political analyst on television that they state that the Chinese may offer to help get Trump out of this mess if he turns his back on Taiwan. Do you think Trump would take the bait? If this starts looking really bad for the Trump administration, let's say casualties are coming through from the Marines we're sending over there, or let's say there's not any casualties, but you're paying $5 a gallon on average, which absolutely could happen. I'm hoping that every Marine we send over there comes back. Do I believe they all are? No, but I'm hoping they are. I'm rooting for our people in uniform. But as long as the Strait of Hormuz is closed, gas will continue to rise. You don't need casualties. That alone would make Trump's administration look horrible. So if China can promise to get all this under control, do you think Trump would be willing to turn his back on Taiwan to get out of that mess that he has now gotten into? I'll leave it up to you folks to decide, but China's not going to do it for free. In my opinion, with Trump asking the UK, France has already said no, by the way. France publicly have already come out and said, no, we're not sending a ship in there. So expect Trump to be attacking France on social media. But they've already said no. But all of those nations, in my opinion, why would they do it for free? You got us in this shit. You didn't even give us the common courtesy to call us and let us know what you were about to get involved in. You just attacked them. And now that shit is going sideways and we all are paying more for fuel. You want our help. After telling us we ain't shit and you don't need NATO and tariffing us into the Stone Age. What incentive do they have to help? I don't get it. What incentive does France or UK, the way Trump has treated them, what incentive do they have to help us? You can only tell a person fuck you for so long before they leave. So I don't understand that. But we'll see if because understand, if they go into the Strait of Hormuz, Trump has already said once that ships should use the Strait of Hormuz, and within 24 hours, a couple of ships tried it, and they were getting bombed. Which makes it clear Trump don't know the condition of this shit. He told folks, and I played the video on here, he told folks that I think they should have guts and go ahead and continue using the strait. And within 24 hours, a few cargo ships or container ships or whatever you want to call them had got bombed. So if France or the UK or some of these folks put their ships in the Strait of Hormuz, they may get bombed. So Trump has started this, and the UK or France may send their ship, and they could lose sailors in behind this for something they didn't start. So what incentive do they have to do that with him saying all kinds of horrible shit about them in NATO, threatening to take Greenland and trying to tariff them to oblivion. What incentive do they have to work with us at this point? I don't get it. But I see in the comments, JC Montana says Trump is playing checkers, not playing, he's playing chess, not checkers. Okay. One of these days, I want to see how that game is played because I ain't never seen chess played like this. I think you guys got the wrong game. I don't think he's playing, he's playing solitaire. Look like he's playing this shit by himself. I don't see him playing chess, but you guys have been saying that since the very beginning. I think that's kind of comical, but I don't see it. I don't think he's playing chess. Anyhow, I've rambled on enough. Playing somebody said he's playing Chutes and Ladders. Wow. You got to be Gen X to know about Chutes and Ladders. Man, you going back. Oh, man. I see you in the comments, Mr. G. Says Trump ain't shit. I see that. Trump will go down in history. Yeah, he will go down in history. Well, all presidents go down in the history books, but Trump's book will be significantly thicker. In fact, Trump's, if you're talking about it from a standpoint of books, you know, the presidents will have books. I got everybody's books over here. Decision Points. This is the book from George W. Bush's presidency. I got Barack Obama's book up there somewhere. But Trump's book, remember the old Britannica encyclopedias? Trump's book will look like that, where it's in eras. You know, this is what he did from the spring of 2017. It'll be eras because he's done so much. You can't put everything Trump did in one book. You just can't. So whatever book comes from the Trump administration, it'll probably be posthumously, but whatever book comes from the Trump administration, it's gonna be in volumes because he's done so much that's notable, good and bad. We'll talk about it on the next live, but good and bad. Anyhow, I appreciate you folks tuning in. You guys, thank you for the 141,000. If you favor this type of programming, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or Substack. We go by the same name across all platforms. Just for shits and giggles, we're on Truth Social, Handsome Liberal, Rumble, X, Clapper, Substack, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you got any of those, feel free to drop in. We occasionally post material. We do go live on X and Clapper sometimes as well. Nevertheless, it is your boy Tim the Handsome Liberal. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You take care and don't fall for the bullshit. Catch you later. Thank you on YouTube as well. Gotta go. What is that? TikTok always does that damn music. I don't know why, but thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night.